I'ma always hold the crown. You're trying to play clean, just leave the scene. It ain't too late, better pack it up. You just gotta ask if you don't know me. Just know one thing, I ain't backing down. Any living thing that cannot coexist must cease to exist. It's a rap, yeah, that's it. Got a lot of tough talk for someone still on that government cheese. You still ain't got what you need. I think you done went crazy. I let your ass into my world and you popped up just like a daisy. Gave you a hand up instead of a handout. You must be sober and bored, looking for some clout. Every time you go to your little crew, you block me just like a little punk dude. You still ain't even manned up. Mad about some fucking timestamps. Dude, shut the fuck up, you fucking dweeb. All you do is rank them long tail keywords. I know this must be a prank. That's why you been labeled Spam King of the Year. No worries, cause a real black hat is here. It's easy to see when you look at me. This black hat ain't just backing down. One thing, homie, if you don't know me, SEO, I'ma always hold the crown. You're trying to play clean, just leave the scene. It ain't too late, better pack it up. You just gotta ask if you don't know me. Just know one thing, I ain't backing down. I come at you with my black hat and shovel in my hand like the Grim Reaper to bury your ass. I size your body up and put some white chalk around it. Yeah, now let's talk about being grounded. You bitch about me, stealing your method when your dumb ass just gives it away. If it not, use a Pop-Tart, sweetheart, you're soft in the middle. So stop acting hard, cause you weak and you brittle. I'll eat your hate for breakfast, now that's a good start. You have no history and you ain't even smart. You never ranked anything of value, nothing, never. So stop fronting, man, you ain't even clever. I put you out there and now you think you a big shot. Remember where you come from in case you forgot. What's given can be taken away. I ain't mad at you, I'm logging out, have a nice day. It's easy to see when you look at me. This black hat ain't just backing down. One thing, homie, if you don't know me, SEO, I'ma always hold the crown. You're trying to play clean, just leave the scene. It ain't too late, better pack it up. You just gotta ask if you don't know me. Just know one thing, I ain't backing down.
Hey, what's up, Daniel?
What is going on?
How you doing, brother?
Let's turn that volume. We got two computers in the room. Got to turn that volume down so I'm not hearing myself echoing. It's like,
that's all right.
Sound good.
All right. You're pumped. I know you're pumped about the movement, dude. I know you're pumped.
Oh, I'm definitely pumped. So we were on the phone. We haven't decided yet, but I'll put it on this. We were on the phone with Neil yesterday. So there's only one Neil that matters in this world, so in marketing. But it's a matter of, do we want this event to be that big? But Craig and all them will be here, so we're right. We're still, honestly, I mean, we got the dates, we got the venue is what we're. It's like how because we got to have the ability to have 500 to 1,000 people, and if we bring in this other fella, I need the stadium.
You're gonna have to go remote too, dude. Definitely, you're gonna have to.
No, we're doing remote. It is a part of it. So remote's one form, and then you have the standard general entry, and then we also have the VIP entry. The biggest difference between the VIP is you get to spend time with the people that you're there to see. So, I mean, but the
networking, the networking is like the best value, biggest part. I think.
And I have people that like Chase will be there. Not Chase Rayner, but another Chase.
Chase Stone?
Chase Stone.
Oh, Stone. Great people.
Yeah.
Great people.
So he does AI too and automations and stuff. But I really like it because if you look at the field of players and people that are going to be there, it's not just SEO, it's just straight up marketing. And that's what I like, is marketing and sales and stuff like that. And I got people that still want to come and speak, but I'm like, listen, I got 14 fucking people already. So next year it's planning on being a yearly event, but
you could always break it into like mastermind rooms. Like, can you really get like? There's so many marketers, dude. There's like so many really like. There's there's so many really good marketers too. Like,
yeah, it's our plan is basically do the big event once a year, and then besides doing the big event, then we're going to be doing the smaller events every 3 or 4 months. The first of this year is going to be extremely insane for me, mainly because we're going to be going to Mecca and Medina in April, and then Mad Singers is coming to Rank Fortress. I'm going to Rank Fortress for 2 weeks. Mads will be there this upcoming week, and we're going to be doing training with him. And then we have the SEO conference.
Who's saying where's my interview at?
No clue, Mr. Facebook user. So where's your interview at? I think there's a guy that I might be interviewing with. We're going to be doing a podcast together. He actually sent me. He's asking about, why not bring Jordan Pierce? I said I'd bring Jordan Pierce if Jordan Pierce would actually come to the event. But Brent Jacobs, me and him are going to be doing a podcast together too. So, lots of things going on.
Dude, I'm so freaking excited. I mean, I'm not really like an SEO guy. I don't really know a whole I'm not an SEO expert. I know a little bit about SEO and enough to get me through probably my SEO GED. But I don't.
No, and honestly, I tell people all the time, even at SEO Underground, I tell people all the time. For instance, I am not the best SEO. I tell people this all the time, and yet I get accused of saying I'm the SEO god and all that other bullshit. I am not good at SEO. I'm not that great at SEO, but one thing I am good at is fucking marketing and sales, and this is where most people and organizing and systemizing shit. And this is where most SEOs wind up staying broke, is because they're really good at SEO, but they don't know marketing, they don't know sales, they don't know systems, and they don't know automations. They don't know how to run a business, and that sort of thing. It's like the tip of the iceberg. Everybody sees the tip of the iceberg, and they're like, for example, hey, I'm as good at SEO as this person or whatever niche it may be, doctor, lawyer, whatever. I'm just as good as them, but they make more money than me and they don't know why. It's generally what's below the surface. All the follow-up, all the back-end offers. Desmond mentions back-end offers, a real quick backup offer, back-end offer and stuff. And that's what changed my entire business around this whenever I started doing back-end offers. GMB Pros is essentially a back-end offer. It's, hey, y'all want to learn about SEO? Let me teach you about SEO. Then you come in and you learn it. You're like, holy shit, this stuff is really hard. Let me outsource it to William and his crew. Then it's like, well, I want the VA thing. Then I want virtual assistants. I may not want William's team, but I want virtual assistants. Well, here's another offer. I want to partner up with William. Oh, I got that one too, baby. So we got them all. We got all the.
Everybody. I mean, you've seen this a million times over. Everybody wants to partner, and then they're coming out to the Philippines. You probably we're all we want to partner. We're all coming out in the Philippines, William, and then.
I've had he's like him, a buddy. He came out here because I don't do lives too much when I'm going out, but I go to the wet market. I don't even go to the grocery store when I'm here. I think really the biggest difference between myself and there are a lot of companies, and you talk about this. I've seen you make posts about this. There are a lot of agencies that say, for example, hey, I got a VA team. Yeah, you got VAs that work for you. Yeah, you got that. But you don't live over here. You don't know what the culture's like. You can't tell me you know what the culture's like because you have never even been in the provinces. You've never lived here. When I say live here, I ain't talking about a month, 2, 3 months. I'm talking a couple of fucking years minimum. then you can talk to me about, hey, I know how the people are, how the culture is, things like that. When you start doing that, that's a whole nother level, because you understand the way the people think.
I think that's how we got connected. I was like seeing, I remember seeing Agency War Room. I kind of liked, how, I liked how the marketing was going, and I'm like, man, yeah, this guy looks, this looks really freaking good. And I noticed that you were in the Philippines, and I was like, well,
Yep.
not many people, like live abroad and actually do it. And then I started noticing that there was very similar characteristics.
Very similar stories too. I know me and you talked about it. It's like, hey, you were involved in the occult. I was involved in the occult. When I went from being, and I didn't even, very few people know this, but I was raised Mormon, and then I went from that. The guy that actually led me to being Pentecostal was actually Filipino. His name was Noel Stanislaw. Didn't even connect any of these dots, and that's when I started getting in. I was a Bible club president. I used to speak. I was a holy roller, bro. And then after that, I just always, my mom and me were talking last night. She's like, man, I just found out Jesus's name. Is it Jesus? It was something like Yeshua. I said, no, it was Yehoshua. And so we were talking, and I told him, I said, like the name, I say everybody says Yahweh. It's actually, if you go back to Paleo Hebrew, it's more like Yahuwah. I said it's more of a breath sound and all that. She's like, my son was right all along. I was like, yes, mother, I tried telling y'all this, but no one wants to listen. And then I got married and got involved in OTO. I got involved in AA and some other stuff. And that's why I have these tattoos, Solvat. You'll know what this means, Solvat Coagula.
Yeah.
So I have on this one, I used to, when I was doing meditation, I would sit here and, pray or meditate like that and sit in a position, but doing, if you will, devotional yoga, bhakti, and stuff like that.
I didn't like, I kind of like, I think that everybody, like whenever you start any occult like practices, most people will start off with like Gardener's Wicca, right? And that's like, because it's like more spiritual, and that's very like,
my wife originally started out with that whenever my first wife that I got a divorce from. So I went through all of that. And I started studying, I know this is not where everybody wants to come in here, but we're talking about it anyways, but I started studying, Voodoo, not voodoo, but Voodoo. And then, I got connected with, at the time, my godfather or my Babalao. And, I started studying Ifa, Central Africa, religion. Like I know how to speak a little bit of Yoruba. And that's where a lot of that stuff came in. But one of the things that did teach me going through all those different religions is how to relate to multiple people. Like I can relate to anybody from an atheist, an anti-theist, not just an atheist, but an anti-theist. Because at one point in my life, I was an anti-theist, which is like Christopher Hitchens. It's not just I don't believe in God. It's you're wearing a cross, and I ask you why you're wearing a T around your neck, that sort of thing. All the way to Buddhism, I never got into Hinduism and occult stuff. But then on top of it, that background, there are some weird books I've read. One of my mentors named Zeke. He's going to be at the conference. He talks about building a culture, how to build a cult-like audience. If you watch sociology or study sociology, or some of these books I have, it talks about that. I just got another one. It's The Language of Cults. And a lot of really good marketing. If you look at it, it's like Russell Brunson. All of them, they all use a lot of the same tactics that are used in, if you will, secret societies and cults. No other way to say it. So I do have a couple of questions. Uma, yeah. I'm being modest, but the thing is, I told someone the other day they were attacking me, and I just told them, so I'm just a businessman, dude. I ain't got time for half the crap everybody goes on. And I'm not even on social media. My PA, my personal assistant, answers stuff for me. So I took myself off of social media. Ollie, hey guys. Hey, Ollie. All right, so this one's for me because I know Daniel, you're not in SEO, but Tim Onaxi. Hi guys. For a local Google business profile, what currently works for expanding area by miles ranking in Google 3-pack? You heard pages detailing place and desired expansion grid. Yes, so you have one location page that you do, which I put all your services on, things to do, places to go, driving directions, etc. Then on hidden pages no one sees but Google, that is indexed. I put points of interest, driving directions from your GMB to those points of interest, different things. So, Ollie, how am I coming up with those new questions every day, man? Chat GPT, brother. I go Chat GPT. I said, what are 20 controversial questions? It comes up with them and it gives them to me. And then I read and I just post them. And it's not even me posting them. It's not me responding to them. It is my personal assistant, Mary Jane. A lot of times people think I have the time to do that. I could give a shit about what you think in certain things. Those posts are made because I have people thinking, what does this got to do with SEO? It has jack shit to do with SEO, but it has everything to do with Facebook algorithm, right? Facebook's algorithm is what I'm trying to feed with those posts. So the reason why you see that is I'm feeding the posts. Feeding the algorithm with those posts, and then they come in, they see it. I have hundreds and hundreds of people that come in that are not even friends of mine. If you look at the engagement, Facebook pays for engagement. So they pay you once you become a digital creator. So Facebook user, I'm here. What up? I don't know who's I'm here. So Facebook user, let me know who you are. Showed up in your news feed. Yep, see? Facebook algo, not even a friend, and it's showing up in his freaking news feed. So, replying from Facebook user, it is Desmond Nenor. You're fired.
You're fired, Desmond.
Looking forward to seeing y'all at my conference in May. I think that is my buddy Kirk Roldan. So me and Kirk are the ones putting together the SEO movement. He started a bit back. And so far, I mean, we got Craig Campbell, we got Ted Kabitis, we got Daniel Jones and his wife. We got myself, Kirk Roldan. We got Chris Palmer. We got
Desmond.
Chase Snow. We got Desmond. We got Zeki Ahmed. And we're in talks with somebody else. We got a bunch of different niches. It's not just going to be about affiliate SEO or local SEO. We got Brock Misner. He's going to be doing local SEO. He has a different approach. It's mainly data manipulation. Chris Palmer, then myself. I'm not talking about anything to do with SEO. I'm actually going to be talking about why the Philippines. That is my topic. Why the Philippines? And in that one, if I can hold up emotionally, you'll be hearing my whole story, how I came to the Philippines, why I love the Philippines, and why I only hire Filipinos. So
I seen that closet in the laundromat.
Yep, that's where he slept at. I have a whole slideshow with all those images and stuff. I even did a live video at one point. I said, I just want to show you. This is when Jason, my friend from South Africa, came over here. Hey, what's up, Jason? And I showed him. I took him in and I said, here's the laundry shop. And I said, let me show you. They're renovating it right now. And I showed them they're renovating it. Now we closed that even down. It's going to be a salon. We never went through with that. And then I showed them, said, this little area back here is where we used to sleep. The futon, which I literally have still in my room over here on the right-hand side, is what we slept on. I won't get rid of that motherfucker because I love it. I remember it. I can look at it and I remember sleeping on that damn thing. So But
how does it feel to go through all them tough times and just, you know, the output is, you know, just ends up because I don't know about anybody else, but I've had those hard times, and it was just like I always told myself tomorrow could be a better day. Tomorrow could be a new opportunity.
Yeah. It's I've had Jason, he used to ask me the same thing, was he'd say, "Did you ever think you're going to be where you're at?" No. I mean, I read a lot of self-help books. I wanted to quote unquote be financially set. Never thought I was going to be there. But I also tell everybody, I said, I even told my daughter when she got married, I said, money comes and money goes. So there's only one thing I know that doesn't go, and that's God. So I realize what you have today could be snatched away. But the good news about someone like myself or you, I've had it and lost it before. And I've also have the skills that I know if I was to lose it, what I would do. So
lost it 3 times over, dude. That's what I tell these a lot of these coaches and a lot of these gurus and these agency owners. Listen, you could hit 6 figures, but listen, you could lose all that overnight. And if you're a dickhead,
yeah, one of my mentors, Perry Belcher, what Perry Belcher will tell you is he says it's easy to become a millionaire. It's easy. It's easy to become a millionaire. What's hard is keeping it.
Sustaining it.
So
sustainability is the toughest.
If you can't sustain it, that's the difference. You know, it's a big difference. And I would tell people, you know, once you've done, let's say 10,000 a month, you can easily do 20. Once you've done 20, you can do 40. Once you do 40, you can do 80. Once you do 80, you can do 160. Once you do 160, you can do 320. It becomes easier and easier. Your first million's hard, but after that, it becomes very easy to get to the next level. So, because then you just, you know, money's used, as Grant Cardone even talks about, is that money's useless unless you put it to work. So once you have that money, I can put it to work and do other stuff with it, invest in other things, and let my money have babies, if you will. So
yeah, you gotta make your money work
anybody
for you, man.
have any questions in here? Desmond, anybody got some questions? Just drop your questions and we'll answer them. About VA, we're here to answer specific questions about virtual assistants. I know we're talking a little bit about everything, Daniel's story, my story. But
someone's asking, I have a question. What will be the best free funnel I can create as a startup agency? Can it be created for free? Well, first off, there's no such thing as free. Your time has value. Can you create a funnel? That's actually, I wish I had Desmond on here he's like the funnel expert. You got to really figure out, you know, what the funnel's for. So, I mean, I know ClickFunnels, they have like a 14-day trial. You can make funnels with, I think, Wix. There's some, Google has some free website tools. You just have to understand the fundamentals of a funnel and what it does. So Google has like some website, builder that, you know, you could use for free, but it's going to take you more time to design because you don't have the bells and whistles like you would have if you were using Go High Level or ClickFunnels that allows you to streamline and build a lot faster. So it all depends. Nothing's free. It all depends on how you're valuing your time.
Yeah, nothing's ever free. If anything, time is the one thing you can't get back. So if you think time's free, you're sadly mistaken. So
what's your drop a question? What's your target audience? Because a lot of people, they think they need a funnel and they don't. All they just need is a Facebook.
That's one of the things that because I even talk about that in GME Pros, how I went from having 4 clients to where we're at now is by Facebook. It had nothing to do with ads. I've never ran not one damn ad in my life. of doing this agency work. I've run ads for other people, not for myself. So you get a Facebook group and optimize your profile cover. Blake Newbar, I never even knew I was doing what he talks about, but basically what Blake Newbar talks about when I first started out, I was doing, which is optimize your Facebook cover. What's your offer? Have it on your Facebook cover, and click to action. Yes, you can't click, and it's not going to take you to the website, but they'll click on it anyways. Then inside your captions, you have a link to your offer, and then you're collecting leads or some to your offer. Then you create a Facebook group. This around the time I got kicked out of someone's Facebook group because a bunch of jealous admins. And then I said, well, the one thing I tell people I was doing wrong, I was building up someone else's local SEO Facebook group, started my own and brought it to about 90 something thousand. And then when you have a group, what Daniel's referring to as well is there's traffic you own, traffic you don't own, and traffic you control, right? Traffic you don't own, is SEO. You don't own that shit. You don't own, you don't own whenever you run ads. You can control it a little bit, but that's about it. Traffic I can control is people I've built up in my own Facebook group, my own email list, etc. And then once you have that established, like Daniel's talking about, is I can drop an offer today and make a couple of $1,000s, no problem. When you have no group, you have no, if you will, cult or culture, you have no following, you have no brand, that's your problem. And most people don't have a brand. So who is this? Okay, so Shuva Das, the question, what will be the best free funnel? Yeah, you just answered that. Can it be created for free? Yeah, I just saw it. So thanks for the point.
Just create
it.
In your Facebook group, use a Facebook, drive the traffic to a Facebook group, qualify them, gather some information in the questionnaires, and then, you're able to cold DM them. You got their email, you got their phone number, you qualified them. You're putting massive social proof inside your Facebook, give a massive value. There's your funnel. You don't need a website, none of that, fancy stuff. Just optimize your Facebook profile so they know who you are, what you're doing.
And the other thing is, Shuva, a friend of mine on my Facebook, his name's Kevin. I have a bunch of tools where this is one of the reasons why several people hate me. So, and this is why they say I come into their groups and I'm fleecing their fold, if you will. But it's just marketing. So if you don't like it, whatever. But here's all I do. Go to Kevin. He's in my Facebook. He's on my Facebook friends list. He has some tools. Literally, I find my ideal client. Let's say it's in Go High Level. It's agency owners or wherever, or it's residential roofers, whoever, or you're trying to, if you will, concentrate on. Go to those groups, join those groups, go in there and give value, answer questions, not just say, hey, PM me, DM me, all that bullshit. Actually answer questions. Use a little search bar in that group. Go through it, say help, need help, assistance, whatever. Find people looking for help and you answer their questions. The more you do that, the more you're going to be seen as an expert in that specific niche. Then the next thing I do besides that is I will wind up using my extension, my Chrome extension. I can go to members and I click start and it goes through every one of them looking for specific keywords. I'll put in like agency owner, agency, CEO, business owner, and I'll go through and go and send them to my inbox and say, hey, I want you to be my friend, and I'll automatically send them a DM with my free offer. So I say, hey, I don't want to be just some average normal agency guy just send a random friend request, but I'm an agency owner just like yourself. Here's a free book on how to do white label SEO if you're interested. And then I grew that way. That's how I grew. I went from 4 or 5 clients to we have over 1,500 clients. So it can be done. And I'm going to assume, are you in a third world quote unquote third world country. I live in a third world country as well. So I know it can be done. And I have a computer that's dedicated to just that. My personal assistant sets up my shit. She does all my posts. Everything is done on automation. Those posts you see every day, I'm not posting every day. That's all automation. And when you have an offer like that and you're putting out content, the main thing is, and I have it on my phone, and people may not like them, but Grant Cardone talks about this, right? Money and power follow attention. Money and power follow attention. So whoever can get the most attention is the person who gets the most action, and sooner or later will get the most results. I've had people that literally do not like me come into my DM and say, you know what? I don't really care for you. I don't like you necessarily as an SEO, but I see you everywhere. And what I mean by everywhere, it's the same thing with those questions I post. What happens is you post questions, people come in when they're public, they see it, and they comment on it, even if they're not your friends. And then that draws in their audience. And then they start commenting and sharing and stuff. It's like Desmond, he does short form content. I do short form content. D does this stuff for me. And we'll do short form content because the more short form content's out there, the more you're seen, the more value you're given, the more you're seen as an expert in your field. When you say, oh, I'm an SEO, and you post, let's say, once a day, maybe once a day, you're putting out maybe a client testimony, or maybe putting some stupid lame ass offer out that's really not backed by any social proof. You're not doing YouTube, you're not doing podcasts, you're not doing short form, then really you're not going to make too much money. And people, I know Desmond teaches this as well. I'd love to have you on, Desmond, by the way. If you want to jump on, feel free. But Desmond,
jump on, Desmond.
One of the things he teaches and pushes a lot is short form content, right? So Desmond, if you want to get on, just message Daniel. But here's why. A lot of people go, for instance, hey, I ain't got the time to do short form content, right? I had a friend named Jason. This is what we did to do short form content. If you've ever went on any of my TikToks and you see me in the pool, this is the story behind it. Jason goes, I ain't got time. I said, okay, today, take the book. This is how I'm going to do it. Take one of my self-help books. Take yours. I'll take mine. We're getting in the pool till we have 30 short form content videos done. We're not getting out of the fucking pool. And I literally take the book, right? I'll give you, for instance, this book. Anybody read The Compound Effect? Right?
I have not.
What I would do is, okay, this one's owning 100%. You know, the problem with most of you is anytime something bad happens, you say it happened for this reason, it happened for that reason, it happened for this other reason. The fact is, motherfucker, you don't own up for 100% of the fault is in your lap, not someone else's. You want to start being successful? Own the fuck up. Short form content. That's all it is. And we did that. I would do it. He'd read from his book. Put it in your own words. And then we made 30 with it in like an hour. Doing short form content's easy as shit if you actually put effort into it. So, let's see. Yeah, I don't see Desmond's not there. But that sort of thing is how we do short form content. I read constantly. If you see me behind my green screen, I got like 1,000 something books. I'm constantly reading and learning. And then I talk from my own personal experience. You'll tell people your story. The other reason you do short form content is because people buy from you. They buy into you, not your service. They give a shit about your services and products. They're going to connect with you. If they connect with you, they'll stay with you. They'll be committed to you. They'll defend you. I do not even defend myself anymore. When someone comes and attacks me, I have plenty of people that love me enough. There was someone that came into one of the posts the other day and attacked me about another white labeler, right? And one of my own people, I didn't have nothing to do with it, comes in there and just starts nailing them. And this is kind of like, it's like Donald Trump. There are people that love him. There are people that hate him. and he has people that will defend him. So that happens by building up a brand, which is by building up content, which is by putting yourself out there. And the more you put yourself out there, the more people are going to hate you. Because you're going to, for instance, in VA agency, you're different because you're more like Daniel's more like he finds people, recruits people, trains them, places them, right? I'm more of a VA management, and I get this. I got people that love me. They absolutely adore me. You're doing some amazing work. And I got other people saying, oh, you're doing a sweatshop. And so I have to go, the people that are saying these things, you have no fucking clue.
Most people are coming from a place of scarcity. I'll give the audience an example here. There's no such thing as competition. Let me give you a story, right? I had a client come in, and there was a point where the client wanted staff. The client wanted managed staff, right? I don't take money from anybody. I only take money from people that I feel that I could confidently solve their problem. That's what sales is to me, solving someone's problem. So they wanted more of a managed type of staffing. Didn't take anything. And I said, hey, listen, I know a guy. I believe that he can get you the results you're looking for. And I, brought William in the group. Hey, William, this is so-and-so. He's looking for managed VAs. You guys can get on a call and, see if you're a right fit for each other. Now in a different world, like me and you are supposed to be competitors. I am placing VAs, you're, managing VAs, but we're not thinking out of a place of scarcity, because we know that the money out there and the problems that can be solved are abundant. The people that buy from you are not necessarily going to be the people that buy from me. And the people that buy from me are not necessarily going to be the people that buy from you, or maybe they buy from both of us. They may love both of us. But the whole point is, there's no such thing as competition. You're not dominating a market unless you have investors that are backing millions upon millions into your product, and you are some IT company out of Silicon Valley. You don't have competitors. You think you got competitors, and the biggest competition that you have is the thought that somebody else is taking food out of your mouth.
Yeah, that's where a lot of it comes from. It winds up being scarcity and jealousy, and jealousy is just scarcity, quite honestly. Like I've had people say, you make too much. Who defines too much? Who's going to tell you it's too much? Tell people I mess with people. I'll tell them, say, I serve the God of too much. So y'all can go ahead with y'all's thing or whatever. But Timon, it's about VAs and stuff today, but how to get a restaurant to rank in maps. Search by distance for all menu items. Same way. I mean, you can message me. Most rank only half, and software to check this. The software to check it, I use Domination Simplified, and I also use Local Falcon. I'll be demoing Domination very soon. All right. So this guy is the one asking about leads and stuff. There is main important when we do marketing by using cold email strategy. Should I send mail 2 or 3 C-level person from the company? Because I think if the CEO won't reply, maybe the co-founder reply. Can you tell more about cold emailing strategies?
The co-founder is not a decision maker. That CEO is a decision maker.
Yeah.
Co-founder is not a job. Co-founder is not a job title. A co-founder is just somebody that founded the company. They're not a decision maker. They may not be a decision maker. They can be a decision maker, but a co-founder is not a job title. Send it off to the CEO. If you can grab their attention when you do email marketing, I'll just give you the breakdown. Warm up your domains. Make sure the records. Make sure you have them the correct records. Make sure the domains are warmed up. Remember, you should only be sending up to the email per domain. And you should be starting a conversation. Don't be throwing links in there. It's going to go to spam. You want to get delivery. You want to be starting conversations. So you need to grab their attention, and then if your offer is resonating with them, it should convert into a positive response, possibly an appointment. But you definitely want to hit up the CEOs.
Yeah, and then I have someone personally that does it for me, because there's not as simple as just blasting a few thousand emails and thinking magically people are going to respond to you. You got to warm up and you do tests, and then you also try to see, does this work or does that work, et cetera, et
The list
cetera.
cleaning up the list.
And most people don't go through all the effort. I don't have the patience for it, so I pay someone to do it for me. So let's see what other questions we got coming in. So that's, typically what I'm going to do. If the person that's making the decision doesn't answer, then your offer's not resonating. And for me, I see a lot of this mainly because there are certain course makers out there teaching it, sending bots to do mass fucking email. That shit. What you're doing is like this, okay? I give you an example. I used to have a friend. His name's Donald Scott. Cool guy. We go fishing. He'd bring 20 fishing poles, pull them all up on the bridge, and he'd catch quite a bit of fish. But he has 20 different lines out, right? He's just trying to do in mass. You're trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. You're not an expert. You don't really know what you're doing. You just put bait on the hook, throw it out there, and hope you catch something because you got 20 poles out. Then I had another friend named Ernesto. He'd tell you, use this bait. We're going here during this time. And every time we would do what we call in the Florida limit out. We could only catch so many of this type of breed of fish. We'd limit out every freaking time. Red drum, black drum, sheephead, whatever it is. He's an expert in that field. So for me, I would rather go, I want my ideal client. I'm going to go to this person. I know they can afford me. I know they'll pay me, and then drill them into your offer and then close them out, rather than let me take a bunch of spaghetti, throw it on the wall and see what sticks. And I'll send out let's say 1 million emails, and I'll get, a bunch of people that respond. But, then even after they respond, you still got to stick them through a process. You have to have a process. They can go high level using that, if they're okay, they're warm to your offer. Now, how are you going to reel them in even further? Are you going to give them information? What type of information? How are you going to get them on the phone? You got to think about that entire process. So,
and now you want to talk about, and that's why short form content is so important, because if you email somebody, then now you got to worry about the sales process. Now here's an important thing about sales. I don't ever get on a sales call unless someone has consumed about 80% of my content. I want that authority to be built. I want them to be more likely sold before I get on the phone. So email market, bring them in to a place where they can consume your content and they could understand and realize, your authority is already built. They understand you're the expert. So when you're getting on that call, you're not trying to sell them. They're already sold. They just want to know what the process is and how to get started. It's not always as simple as that, but
even in sales, one of the things we talk about too is it takes about 8 touch points before someone ever buys from you. So that short form content, your emails, your social media posts, those are touches. Those are sales touches. And that is proven statistically that it takes about 8 times of someone seeing your content or meeting you or talking to you before they ever buy from you. I've had people that literally message me and then 6 months to 8 months later or longer sign up with me. So it's not a matter of what you're doing today. It's seed time and harvest. Seed time, harvest. What you did months ago, years ago, you will reap. What you're doing today, you'll reap later. It's when people come out and say, "Oh, I had $100,000 day or a $10,000 day or $1 million day," bullshit. You didn't have $1 million day. You had a reap. You reap today what you've been sowing for months or years. Okay, so don't believe all that BS that a lot of people want to tell you. So we're doing short form content and giving value because of the sheer fact that over time you're going to wind up reaping those rewards. So if you're lazy and you don't put in the effort, most people, Alex Hormozy talks about, most people don't realize the type and amount of effort that it takes to be successful. Like if you want to use short form content's good, but you're never going to get anywhere with just short form content unless you do short form content at scale.
Yeah.
Okay, what scale? So you're doing 1 piece a day. What's better, 1 piece a day or 4 pieces a day? I can repurpose a piece of content and blast it across 90 different outlets. You'll never compete with someone doing that way. So.
And here's the thing. The guy, and this is the most important part about content. The guys who are not as good as you, if they outperform you in content, they could be like absolute beginners and they will do better than you because they're outperforming you in content.
Yeah. And short form content's just another thing people can outsource. It's a big, big niche right now. People are looking for it all over the place. And if you're a virtual assistant looking for a niche to get into short form content. There's plenty of tools like Descript and a bunch of other tools that you can use. Even if you got Adobe skills, there's Canva. There's basically an AI tool pretty much for Canva called Video AI that you can use.
I'm actually checking
as well.
I'm checking out your videos right now. Seeing what that.
I do the ones that are edited like Alex Hormozy's style, and then I also do other ones where I'm just outside walking and I go or working out. I was like the other one. There's one I did the other day where I was like, my son said, "What's that, son? You talking shit? What was that? You had leg day now what? What? I can't hear you." Because he's walking down the stairs complaining about his legs hurting and shit. I was like, so we'll video record stuff like that, or I'll walk into my office where all the VAs and employees are at, and I'll record it and just record it as footage, and then I'll use it with just textual layovers. And I had first video I had pop off. Now it's like at 130 something thousand. That video's gotten me close to like 1,200 subs within a week. So once you're at, why would you care if you're at 1,000 subs? Well, on TikTok, once you're at 1,000 subs, you can go live on TikTok. And so once you can do that, you can start drawing in more people because people love watching real live footage. They don't really care for the footage where it's pre-recorded a lot of times. They want to be able to interact with people. I think the number one reason why most people do not do content is they don't want to get in front of a camera and put their face out there. They don't really want to build a personal brand. And you must
be scary
build a
at
personal
first.
brand. No, it's very scary at first. And then once you actually start getting attention, you get people that will come at you and everybody's got something to say about something you did wrong, blah, blah, blah. So you'll get a lot of that. But one thing I've noticed is the most successful people always get people attacking them. Always.
Always leverage your haters. Remember this, right? Your haters troll you in a comment. What do you think that's going to do? Well, they just engage with you. They're going to feed their audience. I always let them come in. I love trolls. And I just respond. So sometimes I don't feel like explaining myself. I don't even respond. But if I feel that it deserves an explanation, I'll respond. But leverage your trolls, man. Give them love.
How do you leverage your trolls? So there's a number one copywriter I learned from. I wish I had known about him 2 years ago when I first had one of my number one haters come after me. The guy's name that writes all these books, it's literally called Troll Copy. is by Ben Settle. I have every one of Ben Settle's books. His stuff is really, really good. And that's the one I will use.
His $100,000 books.
Yeah,
His books that cost like $100,000.
Sorry about that. He has one that's like I have like 3 or 4 that's like $500, $300, whatever for each one of them. And the first one I bought, it was on it's called Social Layer. I gotta get this straight.
I know what you're talking about.
Social Layer I got, and that's what started teaching me a lot about different things. And then Social Layer was the one that I really started diving into, right? Yep. That's another one.
Baby.
I got that one too. Breakthrough Advertising.
Hypnotic Writing, Copywriter's Handbook. Shit.
Give you an instance. Someone came into my thing the other day about one of my offers and another white labeler, and she started just ragging on me, and I literally didn't delete it. Most of them think they're going to say something. Then these haters send their dogs, and then they say a bunch of shit, and they want you to delete it so then they can go back and say, oh, William couldn't handle it. Daniel couldn't handle it. He deleted my comment. No, feed the algorithm. I love it, baby. And then I'll comment back. It went on and on and on, about 10 different comments back and forth. I'm like, you keep commenting, keep feeding the algo so I can keep pulling your friends into my shit. And I've learned another thing I'll do. Ben Settle talks about this, is someone hates on you. I'll take their name and make a, if you will, email blast about it, but I won't name them by name. Let's call them the fluffy, the fluffy troll bunny. I'll just call them something stupid like that. And say, since I'm such a big scammer, I'm doing 50% off of the entire Rank Fortress store today. You got 48 hours. If the scammer keeps it up, I might make it last another week. And I've done those, and I make as much money as possible off of them. So I absolutely adore and love my scammer. I love every freaking one of those trolls. So don't hate on your trolls. Love them.
I don't get trolled too much often because like I troll the trolls, and yeah, I don't like, they stopped trolling me once I just started like trolling the trolls. Because like someone asked on Facebook, like, how do you stop a bully? Well, you make them feel, and you just respond to them, making them feel inferior.
Yep.
that's it. And
you don't spend so much time on them when they do that to you. When you get up haters, you don't want to spend your days thinking about them. Let them do that, because one of the things I learned is when people are doing that, they're not spending time making content. They're not building offers. They're not cultivating their audience. They're not building their brand. They're not making money. You are occupying their head. One of the things, and how I learned this, I used to play poker in tournaments, and I had a guy, I'm sitting there very aggressive. I wound winning this tournament, and then everybody at the table was angry at me because every hand I'd be raising, I got really aggressive. I became the chip bully, which is what you're supposed to do. When you have the stack, you're supposed to make everybody pay. You want to see a flop, you're going to pay. If you are in a hand, you're either raising or folding. You're never just calling usually. All right. And the guy literally told him, because I got so angry, he said, listen, if you're so pissed off at me, if you think you're better than him, he's just outplaying you. He's playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. So this is what you got to do with your haters. Let them have you in your head.
Your comps must have been great, man. You must have been getting, if you're making buy-ins, your comps must have been great, dude. They must have been handing, here's a free hotel, man. Come back every day of the week, man.
I stay out of Manila for a reason, so I don't want to be around that all the time. So I'd rather be in the country.
No,
but I know today, guys. Yeah, we when I go into Manila, I'll usually play in tournaments and stuff. Like I know there's generally 2 really big ones in Manila every year, so that's generally when I'm there. APPT, and stuff like that, and Poker Stars. So, but yeah. So I know we talked a little bit about a little bit of everything, but everything from GME to VAs to how kind of me and Daniel got started, a little bit of background me. Maybe none of y'all ever knew that I was involved in all that craziness, but I'm thankful that I'm out of that craziness. I'm more than grateful. It's like God brought me to the Philippines. I'm in love with the Philippines. I have no desire to leave the Philippines whatsoever. It's the number one reason I don't go do conferences in the States. I have plenty of people like Holly that want me to come do masterminds in the States, and I just won't. I have no desire to, So I'd rather have people come here.
I love living overseas. Living overseas is it's just like at first it's kind of like a huge culture shock. You're kind of like that typical American asshole that everybody hates. Trying to make everything about America. That's typically what Americans do when they go over here. It's not like this in America. Oh, it's not like that in America. Then you just start getting used to it, and you start appreciating a lot of things that you have over here that you don't really have in America. America, the country is what, 200, 300 years old? As far as like, the United States of America, you go to these other countries, man, freaking. Oh, here we go. Look who joined. Look who joined.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear
Yes,
ya.
sir.
Are you guys only streaming?
How you doing, Desmond?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good.
No, in my group as well. I got about 100,000 people in my group. So
You're in like my group. You're all over the place. You're in tons of groups.
YouTube everywhere. So we're talking about short form content and all that stuff.
Excuse me, guys. I gotta grab a water.
Desmond, at one point, he had messaged me because he'd seen my little bit of content. He's like, "You need to start doing more content." I was like, "I know, bro. I know."
Yeah.
Now we're doing a lot of content. So
yeah, some unique content too. I see you taking you took on my post. I'm here to confront the guy you took on my post.
Yeah. I get that all the time, man. So like, Desmond made a post. I forget what it was about, but he made a post, one of those question posts, and I grabbed it because I seen it had a lot of engagement, and I posted it. And he came in there and said something. Yeah. I was like, at least I know Desmond's like.
He called me. He's like,
Desmond's not one of those guys to be like, this son of a bitch. He's copying my shit.
Yeah, he called me. He asked me. He's like, "Is this guy related to you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's my cousin in the Philippines. Us Joneses, we kind of spread out. We're all over the place."
Yeah. But honestly, no ideas are truly original. As they say, nothing is really new under the sun. Even some of my thoughts and ideas, and anyone's thoughts and ideas, have already been said. Like you take Andrew Tate, for example. His whole ideas around women and whatever else, money, it's nothing new. I mean there's like I heard so many people saying stuff like that. So when he came on the scene, nothing he was saying was so like controversial to me. There was a bunch of dating guys.
How he says it. There's another guy.
Exactly.
I think his name's Samuel. He's a black guy, and he said the same thing till he died a few years back. But he just said it in a different way. He said it in a different way. It's much calmer, much non-bombastic way. But Andrew Tate's much more different in that sense. So.
And that's the game. That's the game. You're pretty much just saying the same thing in a different way. That's literally the game. Like for me, I remember I would use the term organic marketing, right? But in this small little part of the internet, there's a bunch of other guys who say organic marketing. So I had to find a different way to kind of stand out. So I started to use the term advocates, because at the end of the day, organic marketing, how you get advocates is all just through content. Organic marketing is just creating content. Getting advocates or supporters is just through content. But sometimes you have to share your message in a different way, whether again it's the way you say things, or however you communicate, through the things you wear, through your setup, whatever, just to grab people's attention to say what you have to say. So yeah, we're all saying the same thing in a different way, but some people are more slick.
Yeah, I've had people come at me. I'd be like, it was like I used a term for a product. He called it domain name booster, and I called it the same thing he's like, you got to change it. I said, you may want to get that title trademark, dude, because there are plenty of people using it. It's like most people is like you saying the same thing. It's like I was telling Daniel earlier. I had a friend named Jason in South Africa. And he's like, how do you do so much content? Because prior to even knowing you, at one point I was doing, let's say, 2 pieces a day.
So I really inspired you to create more content.
Even more content. That's what I was telling everybody on here. I said, Desmond is the reason why I did more content. I said, because at one point I was like, I knew I needed to do it, but how can I do it? And it's like, why do you do podcasts? Why do I do a podcast on VAs? Why do I do one on SEO? Why do I do on agency owners? Because I could chop that shit up and repurpose it. But the thing is, we took my friend out and I said, we're going to go in the pool. And until we're done with 30 pieces of content, we're not getting out of this damn pool. And literally, I said, grab a book. One of my books, if you've seen behind my green screen, I got like thousands of books because I constantly read. I said, literally, all I did this earlier. So you take this like this. Success is a half marathon, or time is of the essence. And I go, what's that mean to me? And then I just start talking, and there's one short. Then he would do the same thing with his. And by an hour, we had 30 pieces of content. And most people think, well, I need to set a whole day aside. Just give me a couple of hours, bro, and I got a month worth of content. So my personal assistant posts all my questions on my Facebook now. Now I'm not going and looking at Desmond shit or anybody else. Unless I'm scrolling and I see something that's really taken off, then I'll go, let me reword it a little bit. But Chat GPT. And then she also posts my memes, because I'll go on, I'll find some stupid ass memes and post them. And then my reels and all that, I got D making those for me. And shout out to D. He does all my, short form, Hamosi style. And then I'll also, if I'm out, I'll just record shit. I'll record because I've seen some of the stuff you do. I'll sit there and let me just walk into the office and I see my VA standing there and working. Just record that shit and I can do text layovers or voice layovers. You don't have to quote unquote. It's like I've heard Russell talk about this. I've heard you talk about it. It's like document the process. Do not need to create content. You document your life. Like I know you do a lot of health and stuff, Desmond, too. So he does a lot of health and different health issues. So he'll sit there and record that. And, food wise, or if you're exercising, and most people think no one's interested. Plenty of people are interested. I get, and I told Chris Palmer this because he does long lives, like 3 hours. And I said, you need to do short form content. He would never do it. And finally got him to start doing some. I said, you realize in my short form content, I get more subs than I do in my long form content. I can pull up my short form content that takes off. And when I say take off, let's say just 1,000 views, I'll get 4 or 5 new subs off of that on YouTube. When I had that one piece of content take off, first time ever, dude, we did a brand new TikTok. It was probably 20, 30 days old. One piece of content took out to over 130 something thousand views. I got over 1,000 new subs off of that one piece of content. So it's like if you can produce content at scale, I think, then the more likelihood you'll have one of those pieces of content take off, which means you'll have more subs, you'll hit more of your market, you push your offers. You know, another thing, Zeke, he'll be at the conference. He taught me, and I see you doing it every time I see you post too. Is Zeke told me, he said, you don't ever post any content that's not attached to an offer.
Yep.
And I see you do that all the time. It's like everything you do is attached to your content marketing god or your offer.
Yep. Yeah, because you said a few things I wanted to talk about. So, one, we'll talk about that while I still remember it. Call to actions, right? I don't think people realize how important that is. Some people just will not like take that extra step to ask you, like, what do you offer? But if you just give them a call to action, in the comments, right, on Facebook, the algorithm's a little different than other platforms. It's kind of similar to LinkedIn, where you can like make a comment on an old post and then it'll go back on top of people's feeds. But just the simple act of making a comment will drive that traffic and create an opportunity for you to get paid. For me, I think getting sales is very simple. More awareness, more conversations at scale, which you do through content, more offers made, you make more sales. I think people don't realize how much traffic they really need.
You made a post about that recently too, or on one of your TikToks I seen. It's like the 3 things: awareness and everything creates. It's like Grant Cardone talks about that. I have it on my phone. Sean is like, you know, money and power follow attention. You know, money and power follow attention. So whoever can get the most attention is the person who takes the most action, and sooner or later will get the most results. It's the same thing. It's like when you start following the content marketing God method, then you wind up, you know, everybody's going to see you. I've literally had my haters. I told Daniel earlier, I literally had someone message me, took the time out of their day to tell me, I don't like you, but I see you everywhere. And I'm like, why would you even bother to take the time to tell me, hey, I don't like you, but I see you everywhere, dude? So, you know, it definitely works.
Yeah, and I think creating content at scale is just going to be more and more important as AI allows us to do things faster. I don't see AI necessarily taking people's jobs too soon. I think it's going to get really weird when AI starts like working with AI and they start buying things from each other. And I think there's still going to be that human aspect for a little while. And and what is going to allow people to do is just move faster. Like, hey, can you make this headline for me real quick? Hey, can you help me write this script? And so creating content, so you're going to have to learn how to create content at scale, like, because people are going to be able to create content way faster now. So right now I'm just putting my distribution model in full effect. Like, you'll see me on Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere. But I think it's very important too to make sure that you're just taking people to one place. You use all these different avenues and you make all this content, but just make sure all your content is just taking people to one place to not confuse the buyer. And then content's all around you. Like, for all the people that are just like, oh my God, it's so hard for me to create content, it's all around you. Like, I would talk to Dan on the phone for hours and I'm like, oh my God, Dan, like, this is like content.
I'm his ghostwriter.
Yeah. Okay.
We used to do the same thing. We, at one point, I had a name, we called him B-Rock. And we told him he's going to be our B-Rock. And he did content for me at Rank Fortress when I lived at that house. And if we were going out to eat, if we were going driving, if we were on our motorbikes, whatever, we bring them with them. And I said, just record everything. I said, we're eventually going to say something that can be used. So I have 2 GoPros. My son, I literally could never get him to do short form content. I bought him one and I said, go record this. Now I literally, you'll like this too, I pay him to read a book, say 10 pages a day, read the book, and then record a video telling me your thoughts about what you learned. And he's been doing that. I'm like, I'm going to get your ass to record short form content and start getting involved in this, you know, because I've told him, I said, I was on YouTube when I really was pumping out content last year. I was doing 2 pieces of long form, or let's say 10 minutes or less. I was making $2,000 plus a month just from doing that. And that's all I said. Imagine doing that and you live in a third world country. They said, you're set. You ain't got to do shit but record your life.
Yep.
You know, so
yeah. And you guys should definitely be doing short form with the long form. You need those long form mediums. So people need to spend time with you, right? How you build relationships online is the same way you build relationships offline, right? The friends you have now, you've probably had a lot of different interactions. You've gone on trips together. You've done this together. You've done that together. So with short form content, you want them to want to watch all your short form content, and then you want to have those long form mediums where they can spend 10 minutes with you, 30 minutes with you, 60 minutes with you, and to build that more of that know, like, trust factor. And with YouTube specifically, I mean, I haven't published a video on one of my old accounts since like 2019. Until this day, I still get affiliate checks from Ty Lopez. If I was to stop posting content on Facebook, I don't know, like the lead flow is gonna stop, the sales is gonna stop. So I've been investing more time and energy into YouTube just because it's something that's real evergreen, and people go to YouTube when they have problems, right? At the end of the day, like, we're solving problems with our products and services. So if you're creating content with a business mind, you're trying to get a sale out of it, then like you want to be reaching people when they're looking to.
I've never heard anyone put it that way. It's like I've never even thought of it that way. YouTube, I would think, would be, it's for problems. Someone wants to know how to do something, but generally speaking, someone doesn't go to TikTok and go, how to do this. It's
now I will say,
you know, it's more of an entertainment basis, I think.
Yeah. And but TikTok, I have seen started showing up on Google, and for me, I actually do go. Yeah, and I remember I was doing an interview, and this lady was like, I said something like, I can't remember what I said, but she basically was like, you know, any time there's a search bar, you're pretty much, you know, it's pretty much a search.
I remember you interviewed her, and she said everything that's got a search bar is a search engine.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched that, and then I remember seeing, like, it doesn't happen on desktop yet.
Yeah.
But for if let's say, because I'm in a local SEO, I literally go on here. I'll do it live real quick and type in, let's say, Orlando, Florida, right? And all I'm doing is type in Orlando, Florida. And if you go down to the videos, TikTok, you see that? TikTok. So, and that's just for Orlando. You got Facebook, TikTok, Facebook, and one of the things I seen, that video that I had that took off, when I typed in virtual assistant, it was on the page 1 of Google. It doesn't happen on desktop, but it does happen on your mobile. And most people, like 80-something% of people, are using mobile. And it is definitely popping up in search engines. So I've been talking to people about that, because I've noticed that as well. Because I remember watching that. It's like everything that has, like, that is very true. Everything that has a search bar is a search engine, really. And I think it was TikTok. TikTok actually, normally it's Google's the #1 search engine. It's actually not Google no more. It's actually TikTok from the last time I seen. It's TikTok and Google second. TikTok and Google second, and YouTube's third.
Is there a way to index your? Is there a way to index your videos?
Yes, they are indexed. They generally automatically index. So they're very powerful to use.
Yeah, I've gone to TikTok. Like, if I'm in a different city, I'll like look up restaurants, or even in my own city, like I found restaurants, like, you know, restaurant in Maryland, Baltimore, or like a specific location. and I find restaurants that way. I've been looking up cooking recipes. Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty much, I use it as a search engine. I try not to use it for entertainment because I mean, it's just like killing my brain cells if I'm just like watching all these senseless videos all day of people rehashing the same dance trends and all that.
Yeah, I just hoard like all the marketing materials, like all the marketing strategies that are popping up. I'm like a digital hoarder, big time.
I'm the same way, just with books. So,
yeah, and another thing on content too. Like William was saying, just film everything. Like I remember I was in Mardi Gras, and I'm like, how can I make this trip productive? Oh, content. So I just walked around and I started interviewing a bunch of girls, and I was just like, what's the wildest thing you've done at Mardi Gras? Because a lot of people were like doing some wild stuff to get those beads. Like they were lifting up their shirts and everything. So I just asked the girls, like, what's the wildest thing you did? And I had
totally normal Mardi Gras.
Yeah. And I went, I posted one of the clips of the interviews, and this dude who would inquire about my services from time to time finally pulled the trigger. He was like, yo, Desmond, he said something, he replied, and then we like started a conversation, and then I ended up closing him on a package. And then he was like, I was gonna go with someone else, but you seem cool. You know what I mean? He was this 19-year-old kid, and what does a 19-year-old care about, right? Money, girls. So just seeing that, it was a random clip. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with business or marketing, but just I posted on my story, and that was just a random example of how just a random piece of content could turn into $1.
I seen.
Yeah, I bought from Desmond because he reminded me of Childish Gambino.
This guy
from Community, and I was like, I love I love the show so much, and then Desmond pops up, organic marketing.
He always says that, but I don't believe him.
There's I forget what's his name. I forget his name right now. He's in ClickFunnels, and I've seen him do this too. And this is my plan at the conference too. It's literally, I'm just going to be going up to everybody, asking them questions. Everybody asking them questions, and use that for short form content and stuff. So at the conference and everything, I forget the guy's name. Is Digital Millionaire. Oh, he wrote a book, Digital Millionaire. Dan.
Oh, Dan Henry.
Dan Henry. I always get it mixed up with Dan Kennedy. But Dan Henry, his stuff, and I seen him at one of the ClickFunnels events, and he was just going up. People ask, he's like, what stops most people from being successful? Asked everyone the same question. Everyone, the speakers, every one of the attendees, and then used it for short form content. So plan is at the conference, I'll be asking different people different things. So because it's not just SEO, it's going to be like yourself and creating an audience and offers and automation and AI, because SEO is great, but it can be boring as shit. It's not the only form of getting, leads in business. So, but it's boring, and this like, sexy. Yep. And you can it's like your short form content does draw them into your long form content. But like you said, it's like, I love YouTube because I still have people commenting on videos from 2 years ago. It's something that's not going to just flatline. It's just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up, because you still have people that are constantly looking at your content, constantly going in the description, clicking links, and you're getting paid off your affiliates. So. Because that's how I first started was let me write about Jasper, and I got an affiliate link. Let me write about this, and got an affiliate link. And it's you're only getting paid $200. Yeah, 200 times 10. So it winds up paying some bills. At least over here in the States, I know that's how it's like. In the States, I would tell you, say how much would $2,000 extra affect your pocketbook? Extra.
That's like one chicken. In the States, if you own chickens now, it's like you're rich. If you own chickens and lay eggs,
Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna get to a time where people are like living below their means. I think a lot of people, I mean, you know, with access to credit cards and just the entire um image people trying to portray of just being rich. I mean, I think we're gonna get to a point where everyone's gonna realize like everyone is not rich, like everyone is not making as much money as they say they are, and we're gonna start becoming more humble and living below our means. Because I mean, God, the debt is getting insane. There's even services now that are becoming so pot. Go ahead, Dan.
Uh, It's funny you say that because I don't know about the Philippines, but I know over here you're not taking cars out on loans. You're buying like if you're getting
Exactly.
that Mercedes, you're
Oh
you're
no,
taking
no.
cash out of
You
your.
have the you have the ability to do it over here, but they have no credit system. So
Yeah.
over here, it's like if you wanted a loan, they come out to your house. Do you have a house? Do you have property? So they know, do you have the means to
Yeah.
pay them back? Now, the one thing I do like about over here is I used to go into the bank. This is one of the best things I think about, quote unquote, having money. I used to go in the bank. I had money, but you know what I mean. And I go in the bank, you wait there in the Philippines, it's like a 2-hour wait. Now, if me and my wife walk in the bank, we're not in there more than 5 minutes because they bring us to the front of the line as priority. Same thing with loans
Same,
is
same
they're
thing over here.
they're practically begging you to take money from them, and they'll
Mm.
give you the loans and stuff. They do that, but you know, different loans, different banks, they do it, but there's no real quote unquote credit system. There's no way to track people if they have bad credit or whatever over here.
Yeah.
You know, they just bank
It's-
it on, do you own property? Do you have businesses? How much money have you put into the bank over what period of time? That sort of thing gives you good credit over here.
Mhm.
So
That's actually an interesting topic because it brings us allows us to bridge over to hiring a virtual assistant that's actually working for a company. So the difference of hiring a virtual assistant, in-house, and we'll call in-house directly for their company, or hiring a virtual assistant who's on payroll, outsourced, is when that virtual assistant is actually quote unquote on the books, not an independent contractor. They now have access to go to a bank, get a loan because they're getting pension, they're getting insurance. They can now build their house, build that second or third story, above their, family's house. And a lot of people don't understand that that's really the culture. And that's one of the most important things for anybody living, in these developing countries. In America, we turn 16. Sometimes we get kicked out of the house. We turn 18. We move out. Nah, in these types of countries,
not over here.
no, you're like my kids. Their wives are
We
gonna
have
move in
one, two,
here.
three, four. We have, I think, 9 people that live on my property.
Yeah,
So
you buy one big property, the whole family lives there. Everybody
one thing I know
contributes.
Tate talked about, he's like, he had content, which he's talking about. He met some people that had, nice sports cars and a nice house. He's like, how can you afford it? I know what you do. And he's like, because all of our brothers and stuff live together. That's why. They're not about
Yeah.
just us or just me.
Mhm.
That's what I tell people is the biggest way most VAs will ever learn how to deal with different clients is they need to get to know you and how you deal with things and how they deal with things and get to know each other's culture. Otherwise, you're never going to have good communication, and then relationships, whether in business or in life or love, will end because of communication. It's generally not money, it's communication.
Mhm.
It could be money, but you know
A lot of people think VAs, they're working to get rich. Most
Mhm.
VAs, like, people need to understand this. If you're paying a VA 4, 5, 6 an hour, they don't care how much you're paying them if you're a shitty person. They just they don't like, like it's not up for them. It's not about like the money. It's about actually having a career, having a meaningful career, them enjoying what they're doing. For them, it's not all about the money because they can go anywhere. There's a million and one BPOs, call centers. They can go anywhere and get hired. So they want it's about working with the right, right company.
Yeah, and you've heard all the horror stories. Daniel could tell you all day long about horror stories. So of VAs that are treated like shit, and then we get to deal with them.
Yeah. Dan's gonna start posting a lot more content because I've been getting on him for it. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
boy.
I've been seeing some of his posts as of late. He's been posting some stuff. I'm like, yeah, I think Desmond has gotten into his head. Telling him, get on there.
Yeah.
I was waiting on him today. Going, I'm not going to remind him that we have a podcast. I'm going to see if he'll remind me. And then he messaged me, and I was like, yeah, if you're up for it, because I have so many people that literally go, they want to do podcasts, and then they just don't show up, or hey, something happened or came up.
Oh wow!
And for me, it's just like, so you're telling me you want this, but you're allowing something else is stupid. It might be your mama's coming over for dinner or whatever, get in the way. You really don't want it. You just, so, but Daniel, he messaged me. I was like, yeah, you better. It's like, he chopped this shit up.
Nah, man. You know what? I had a headache and I was like, fuck, man. I was like, all right. So I took an ibuprofen. I'm like, fuck it, man. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. Let's do this. And I just, do it. You just got to do it, man. You got to do it. You gotta give the fans what they want.
Like I have, telling you, I have Mads. He's coming over to do some training. He's doing some training with my team over at Rank Fortress, and I'm gonna be video recording the whole thing, so I could chop that shit up, and then I'll push people to his offer. Same thing, because I'm just documenting it. It's like I've been pushing a lot of content out about VAs and communication and training, proper VA training, and all that, and that's investing into your VAs, and that's what a lot of that content will be about. So
having the converting SOPs, that's really important. I was just talking to somebody today, and they were asking me about pretty much putting together an appointment setting offer. And I said, listen, appointment setting is high in demand, but it could be a nightmare if you're just offering appointment setting to everybody. I said, I suggest that you really niche in. You find a process that's going to be really good, an offer that's going to resonate with that audience only, and you have a highly converting process, and then offer appointment setting as a service.
Very true. I get, I don't know how many offers I get for appointment setters, but the thing is, it's like, are you any good? I've hired appointment setters and then find out, no, they actually suck, because they're not trained. And then they want you to train them. It's like, I don't know how to train nobody in appointment setting. I'm like, you asked me how to sell, and I'm like, I can't tell you because of natural sales. That's just what I do. So I can't really teach you how to sell. I don't know how to teach people how to sell.
Shit, I can, man, because the way I look at it, all communication, all effective communication, is really a framework. It doesn't really matter if we're talking about manipulation, seduction, influence, persuasion, whatever you want to, whatever word you want to use. All effective communication is going to paint a picture. It's going to tell a story. It all begins with a customer avatar, a person who has some sort of desire. They want to get from broke to rich. They want to get from lonely to being with this girl or this person. They want to go from sick to healthy. And so all effective communication, again, just comes down to helping people get what they want. And then just understanding, it can go deep, right? It can go deep. We can talk about what level of awareness are they? Are they problem aware? Are they solution aware? Are they offer aware? Are they most aware? And then we can, kind of go down the line. But really, all communication is just like, here's how I think about sales. Sales is just showing the right message to the right person at the right time. Sales is, what did I just say? Did I say sales or marketing?
Sales.
Marketing. Oh, my bad. Marketing is showing the right message to the right person at the right time. Sales is showing the right offer to the right person at the right time.
Yeah, I seen that post the other day too. That's a good one.
Yep. And then even branding. Branding is a form of communication too. Communication can be both indirect or direct. It can be like, how are you dressed, right? Sometimes I'll always put like a Ghana flag by my name, right, on my usernames. That's one thing to communicate. And all these different ways you communicate attract different people. But yeah, I mean, anyway, communication, no matter what we're talking about, is always going to be about grabbing people's attention, right? Your branding is going to attract a certain type of person. And then there's going to be your marketing. It doesn't matter in the industry. You're going to have your marketing, right? All the content you produce, emails are content, right? All those things, all the follow-up, that's content. Your comments, that's a piece of content. Anytime you can get attention or communicate your message, or any medium you're able to get attention with and communicate your message, those are all places to post content. And then we get to sales, and that's all content.
See, for me, that's sales. I can't explain it that way, but that's what it is to me. I even have this graphic. I was sitting here looking at my phone. I'll have to send it to you, Desmond. You'll like it, but it literally.
Yeah.
But it talks about paid and organic. It says, for example, organic, you have an upside down pyramid. It says exposure, connection, nurture, and close. And in the close, it's a sale, follow, and then it ends to a super fan. In organic, you have short form, video reels, TikTok, shorts, viral trends. Then in the connection, it's feed content, engage in the comments. Nurturing is stories, lives, audio, and podcasts. Closing is DMs, calls, and emails. Then you change that viewer from a viewer to a buyer or super fan. A paid one is minimum of one post a day. You're paying for it. High value post, educational, everyone, reply to everyone. Nurture through DMs, post targeted email, move to emails, exclusive content, show the transformation. You know, I had made that last year and stuff. So my mentor Zeke is the one that taught me this. I remember when I came out with the agency War Room, I'd never, ever sold anyone for more than, let's say, $1,000 in DM. Wow. And I was selling people at $5,000 in DM without ever seeing them. And I was like, holy shit. And that was an eye opener for me. I'm like, I actually don't even have to be on the phone with these people. I would literally just ask them a question and let them talk, and then ask them another question, let them talk, and then close them. Is like, here's the contract, sign it, paid, done, move next, you know? And I remember me and Jason were doing that too. So.
Yeah, and the reason you're able to do that, right? Close a deal like that without getting on the phone is because it doesn't really matter whether you're on the phone or whether you're on the DMs. The idea is, are you able to they're all just mediums of communication. So as long as you're answering the questions, there's a book by what's his name? Something, I think Ovado something. He was a copywriter at Agora, and English wasn't his first language, but he became one of the top copywriters there. And basically he created this book called the 16-word sales letter, where he said, if you answer these 11 questions at the end, a person would have no reason but to buy. And I mean, I can pull it up, but it's basically like, what's the one belief?
Alvaro Albuquerque.
Yeah. And he has like these 11 questions, and then once you answer those questions, people can buy. And you can answer these questions via DM. You can answer these questions all in your content. You can answer these questions in your emails. But as long as you're answering all these questions through any form of communication, a person would have no reason to not buy, or they just don't have the money to pay you, or it's not the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this
So it's talking about
It's
earlier.
all- It's all about building the value inside. Like if you can communicate the value and you could build the value and you could show the value and you could effectively communicate that you're able to solve the problem and that you could effectively communicate that you're actually like genuinely interested in solving their problem and of course build the value. You could sell in the DMs. It's not that.
Yeah, and the goal. So the reason why you get on sales calls is because there's no distraction, right? On social media, like you could be answering all the questions you normally get on sales calls over a series of posts, but they may not be seeing it. There's a million and one distractions. So sales calls allow you to build so much rapport, and literally within 24 hours of knowing somebody, you can close them on a $5,000 deal if you get them on that call, or any deal, if you're able to get them in that medium where you can answer all those questions. But on social media, they might have to see 20 posts from you, 25 posts from you. So you want to get them in those mediums, whether it be in Messenger or like a webinar, right? That's why people do webinars, because they're those long form mediums where you can run through all those questions and get someone to make that purchase. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, we're talking about that. Basically, it's just content is 8 touches, if you will. So talking about normally takes in sales 8 touches before someone buys from you, and that's all really content is a form of a touch. Information.
Yeah.
Do I want to work with this person or not? Do I like them? Are they trustworthy? How to build trust? So you could be better at someone in anything, but if they don't got content out there, then you're not known. If you're not known, no one will ever buy from you. Then if you don't hook everything to an offer, it's like make more. I see you say that all the time. Make more offers. My friend Jason in South Africa, he's like, do you just wake up knowing what an offer you should be? I'll literally ask my people, what do you want today? They tell me, I make the offer, they buy it. I mean, it's not that hard. So, but
because people got problems, bro. Like if it's not one thing, it's another. People are sick. People are lonely. People are we live in this weird world where it's like one person's misery is gonna be your fortune, right? Someone else suffering. Like you take like a Mr. Beast for example. He makes him helping 1,000 blind people. I made a post earlier, and it was just like, what do you think about Mr. Beast? Is he a good or a bad guy? Because he's pretty much profiting off of people's misfortune. But I mean, you can look at it both ways. Like, he's helping them. He is profiting off them, but he's also helping them. And then when he makes money from these videos, he's able to help more people. But your offer is just solving a problem. And I mean, people got problems. People are broke. People are sad. People are sick. So yeah, I mean, just think about that. Like, if you're scared to make offers, like just realize there's someone out there suffering.
Someone's gonna make the damn offer.
If it's not you, they're paying someone else. Yeah. Sometimes I'll think, man, are people not buying? And then I'll find out someone just dropped 20K or whatever on this person. I'm like, dang. It's not that there's not money out here. It's just not coming to me.
You made some posts about that too. I was just like, this person just spent, I don't even know how much money on content, and then you gave them some free advice or something like that. And it's like, you know what? It's insane. I used to think the same thing. It's like I've raised my prices on SEO probably 5 or 6 times now. It's like every time you think. I remember when I first did paid call for 60 minutes. Paid call was $1,000 or $997, and no one to buy it. And like I had it up, and I had like 2 or 3 people buy it that month, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, man?" Because once you build yourself up, you could start raising your prices on stuff because you just got to solve people's problems. And I'll even tell them in DMs, "Why do you think I'm the guy that can help you?" And then I can close them after that. So once I know why they think I can help them, so
That goes back to the idea of just telling your story all the time. People buy from Dan because he married his VA, right? That's his story. That's how he can stand out in the marketplace, right? No one has that story. Because at the end of the day, like, even if you might be like really good at what you do, that doesn't really matter if you can't communicate what you do. If you're not reaching people, if people don't know you exist, like you can't get paid. So and it's just like at some point, like any marketing course can only get so deep, or like they can only be teaching you something that's so new. It's just like with marketing, right? You got foundations, you need traffic. People can use different terms, but you need traffic. Some people will say raving fans or a tribe. You need traffic, people, right? And then you need a message.
It's the same thing. You're saying the same thing. It's what's your hook, what's your story, what's your offer. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just everybody says it in their own way because everybody has their own unique way of saying the same things. It's like Russell has his way, but prior to him, you have what he just breakthrough advertising. I got that damn book. And they say the same thing. It's like people buy because they can connect with you. If you're not talking and you're not putting yourself out there, no one can fucking connect to you because you're staying shy and in your little closet hiding away from everybody. Because people, and that's the other, people don't want to be on camera. And then once they get on camera, here's the big one most people don't deal with. What are you going to do about all these fucking haters and trolls that come after your ass? Because it will happen. I mean, you've talked about this. It's like everybody says the big head. And it's like, I punched somebody in the face. It's like, and I used to think I had it bad. And one of my good friends in SEO, Craig Campbell, he told me, he called me one day, he's laughing. He said, "What the fuck did you do?" He's from Ireland, wherever. He said, "What the fuck did you do?" Because everybody's hating on you and all this stuff. And he told me his story. He said, "Dude, let me tell you." He said, "I think it's funny that it's happening." He said, "But I've had people come up to me from the street, on the street, and try to punch him in the face."
Wow.
On the street because of his content. And I was like, you have to get real fit. You have to get real used to, in the SEO community, you got to get real used to people hating on your ass.
William, when you're good at something and you're
you want to get hate, bro.
I'm not talking about, it's not hate. You're not going to get just one hater. You're going to get a group of fucking haters that are going to team up against you.
Yeah.
They're all good. And they're going to try to figure out a way. And they're going to join these fucking little fucking coaching communities. And they're going to start talking shit about you. And it's going to happen, dude. When you get good at something, it's going to fucking happen. But publicity is publicity. Bad publicity is still publicity.
It's still publicity. It's still good for you.
I was getting traffic off of a freaking Karen review. And, my wife was like freaking out, like, "Oh my God, we got a bad review, this and that." I'm like, "Listen, read the review. This review legitimizes our business. It shows that we actually offer this service." And I go, "It shows that we did what we were supposed to do." And I'm like, "Let's just respond to the review professionally. Listen, we'll reach out to you. If there's any way, maybe we missed our mark, we'd love to make it up." And that review just generated so much traffic. And then, because you can't please anybody. And I tell every client this when I get on a call. I'm like, "Listen, we can't please every client. I'm going to be transparent with you. Not everybody will be a happy client. 8 out of 10 will be happy. 1 or 2 will end up being pissed." And
Dan Kennedy says the same thing. You want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. Even then, not everybody's gonna be happy.
Exactly.
Dude, you can't make everybody
lactose-free milk. Is this diet? Is this with almond milk? All this other shit. So. So I've been seeing you post some stuff health-wise, Desmond. What's up with that? I mean, are you, because I know you're into the natural stuff as well, but what's the story? What's the story behind it?
So the reason I even got into health, actually, so I was always aware that there was something weird about like the medical industry and the fact that like and just like the American the health of most Americans. Like a lot of people are sick. They go to these
standard
doctors.
American diet, the sad diet.
They go to these doctors, and then they're being prescribed these pills that they keep on taking that never really solve their problem. And at some point I just realized a cured patient is a lost customer. So in 2021 I got HSV, which is quote unquote deemed incurable. It's or HSV if you don't know, it's called oral herpes, right?
Yeah.
So I had a holistic coach in my network, and then I also had to go on like the 3rd page of Google, 4th page of Google, 5th page of Google, 4th page of YouTube to find people who actually could give me some real answers as to why it actually occurs. Because if you want to figure out your ailments, right, you have to like look at the root causes. I think a lot of people identify with these diseases instead of understanding that these diseases are coming from somewhere. Like, you don't just get cancer overnight. That's something you were doing something bad over time. And with the way the world works, there's something called the law of duality. For there to be good, there has to be bad. For there to be up, there has to be down. Masculine, there has to be feminine. So for there to be a negative action that leads to disease, there has to be an equal positive action that leads to healing. Right, because your body will repair itself. We do have an immune system, like, or what's actually known as the lymphatic system, right? Your kidneys, your liver, all these things are designed to remove toxins, viruses, parasites. All those things are like root causes to diseases, right? You're not your disease. So basically, I discovered like how the disease works. It's a virus / parasite that lives in your cheekbone. And it feeds off something called arginine. So something like nuts is really like, if you have it, you shouldn't be eating a lot of nuts because it's high in arginine and it feeds the virus. So the protocol really just becomes about removing arginine, eating high amounts of lysine, which you can find in food, you can get supplements, and then taking a bunch of herbs, which also just allow you to kill the virus and electrify the body. And when your body's like in an alkaline state, with the pH scale, there's acid and there's alkaline. Cancer patients have found to have very acidic bodies
versus alkaline. So are you on a more of an alkaline based diet? Or are you a vegetarian? I'm asking this because, believe it or not, years ago I was a raw foodist at one point. I'm not a raw foodist anymore, but I've actually been dieting, exercising, all that, getting back in shape the way I was. But I know a lot about. I used to literally wake up, have lemon juice and distilled water, and then I would juice, and then I would not eat anything cooked over 72 degrees, all that stuff. So I know very much about the alkaline and acidic stuff. So are you kind of going towards, are you like, vegetarian, raw foodist, or juicing, that sort of thing?
So once I found out the protocol to kill that, it was December. I had randomly like woke up one day, and then next thing you know, I just like passed out. Like, I just had an anxiety attack.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, what's up, man? And what had happened was I didn't really think too much of it. Then 2 weeks later, I was in Houston, and I'm just walking. Then all of a sudden, I'm like getting weak. I start shivering, and I'm like, man, what is going on? So I was in the hotel the whole trip, and then I came back, and then I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm just like, going back to the plant-based diet. And so right now I've just kind of realized that there's this numbness on the left side. I'm still I don't know what it is. I thought of my wisdom tooth. So I went to my oral surgeon. They said, go to your physician. My physician said, go to a neurologist. So I got an appointment February 28th. And so I'll see what's up with that. But I mean, right now I'm pretty much just eating a plant-based diet, fruits and vegetables. I don't eat meat or fish. And as long as you're getting all your nutrients, you'll feel healthy. Your organs will function properly. I do believe you can like survive off a plant-based diet. I've seen.
Oh, I do too. I straight up. I've had people tell me before when I was a raw foodist, it's like you have to have meat. I said, tell that to the fucking silverback gorillas, bro. Because
Exactly.
they don't eat no damn meat.
Right, the strongest animals.
Strongest animal's a fucking silverback, and he eats fucking plants.
The strongest
animals maybe some insects, but nothing else. But because I used to, whenever I did, it was raw food and it was just fruits, vegetables. I'd wake up, juice, do the, and I would do the, if you will, juice. And it was always carrot juice, beet juice, celery, and then one apple. And I would have that until lunch, then have salad. Then after that, I literally got to the point more and more I did that. Like right now, I do intermittent fasting. It's the same way, but I was doing that and I got less and less hungry. And the weight would just shed off. And now it's like I do intermittent fasting. I'll fast until about 1 o'clock during the day. And then I'll have one meal and then I have one other meal at night. And that's it. I don't eat a lot. I mean, I don't eat a lot. I'm not vegetarian. I eat, steak at night or heavy in calories and fat. But something else I found interesting too, I was watching yesterday and said, the food industry, because I told my wife this before, so the food industry, when it came out, this in the States, because I knew enough about this, the States, they said that you need all these grains and all these breads. I said, if you actually study cultural and history, from what I learned when I was a vegetarian, was when all the diseases and everything started coming around, was when man went from hunter-gatherer based to agricultural based. And that's when a lot of the diseases and stuff came into play. And they even went so far as to say, everybody wants to say that you get coronary heart disease because of fat. When in fact, they said, if you actually study it, what actually it's caused from is inflammation. And inflammation's number one cause is sugar. Carbs convert to sugar. Regular sugar is sugar. And then on top of it, when it causes that inflammation, what then happens is your body sends fat to your arteries to heal the inflammation. And when it can't heal it, it stays there and clogs your arteries. But the root of it is actually the sugar in causing inflammation and your, if you will, your insulin spikes and everything else. That's one of the things I love about it.
Right.
Yeah. So like I told him, so I used to eat fruits and stuff. I never had a problem with it. I mean, because I wouldn't do too much fruits when I did raw, was on the raw diet, but it was mainly like griefy vegetables, very alkaline. I didn't get hungry. The one thing I have noticed for me when I've dieting, just watching, is like if I have seeds or nuts, regardless, I can't lose weight. I'll never lose weight from it. It's like I told her, I don't know if I'm allergic to it, but I know I love them, but the fact
they have a lot of fat.
Yeah, if I eat one serving and she's like, it's only one serving or one pack or whatever. One fucking pack has like 700 grams of calories and everything else. I was interested because I've been seeing you post stuff and all that. Yeah. You live in or near Baltimore?
Yeah. No, near Baltimore.
That's where I was. I used to live in Baltimore, Washington. When I lived most of my life in Baltimore, Washington, or all in Park Heights.
Yes, yeah.
That's where I used to live at. Lubavitcher Jews, the Hasidic Jews, all that. I used to live in that neck of the woods in Baltimore. I used to love Baltimore because it's like you have culture there, various types of people groups. You get one side, you got the soul food, the other side, you got the Hasidic Jewish food and the Greek food and every type of thing. So, and that's where I started actually doing the raw food diet when I did it. So,
yeah, and life is about balance too. Like I don't you don't want to be too alkaline, right? You kind of want to be like I think between 7 to 8. Life is about balance. I think you can, I'll probably like eat meat and fish from time to time. I think it's just overdoing it. Like we overdo it with the processed food, the white sugar, the white salt, the white flour, the inactivity.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of Christians and different Jewish, not Jewish, but more Christians. They'd tell me, say, well, God allows us to have meat. They used to sacrifice every day and this and this and this. I said, yes, but if you actually know the culture and the history and the context of it, I said the priests only ate a small portion of that meat. The rest of it went to the people and went to God and burned it up and all that other stuff. But if you actually study, most people don't eat a lot of meat, you know. So and most people were not eating 4, 5, 6 meals a day. They were mainly like snacking or having 1 or 2 meals at best a day. So, but
yeah. And if you have an ailment, like it might be something to look into. Like, you know, you've been doing something for a prolonged. Again, the ailment you have is something that has been developed over a long period of time. So you got to look at like, what have you been doing? What have your eating, drinking, sleeping habits, and what have those things been? And then, like, you know, think to yourself, maybe I should change it. Maybe let me try this plant-based diet, alkaline diet. Let me try taking herbs, fasting, drinking clean water, and see what happens. And you'll see, like, okay, I'm giving my body the right fuel now. I'm not putting diesel in a car that takes is it premium is the opposite. So
one of my bad habits is to get away from sugary drinks is I've been doing, and you'll be like, everybody does it's like Coke Zero and or Crystal Light, but like right now in my jug today is just pure water. So I told her, I said, I used to drink just pure water. So I do that to the point where I go, okay, now I'm going to start weaning myself off of this other crap, you know, because it's not natural. It's man-made shit. And actually, a lot of people will say, well, it doesn't spike your insulin. Actually, there's studies that will even tell you that artificial sweeteners can spike your insulin as well, which actually makes you retain fat. Stuff. So I've been getting off of that as well. So
I just do water. I don't even water, coconut water, fruit juices. I mean, I don't know. I don't even sodas. I don't even like want them. Like I don't even like alcohol anymore. It's just like, it's not even worth it. It's disgusting. It's just like, it's so alcohol. I just thought of it. It's not even worth it.
I told my friend the only time I used to drink anything was whenever I was at poker table. I get nervous at final table, so I'd take a shot of whiskey to calm my nerves down, because you're dealing with high stakes and it's like it could get to you really fast. So who's this Max fella? What's up?
Meet Max. Max runs a BPO in Jamaica. Max actually introduced me to the Jamaican community. We're talking about like right when the we're on YouTube, right? So, you know, there's some words we can't say. You know, 2019, 2020, you know, when that happened, you know. And I wanted to bring him in here originally.
Awesome.
Just joined, but yeah, he's been doing the BPO thing, man, for quite a bit of time. Where you from, Max?
Hey, Matt. Hey, guys. Can
you?
Yep.
Can hear you perfect.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect?
You're good.
Yeah,
right. We can hear you.
Right on. Yeah, as far as Dan, what didn't tell me, I was born in Haiti, guys. You know, been here for about 19 years, but I live in Florida now. I live close by Desmond. I used to live in Virginia for like 10 years. I went to school there. Graduated and everything before I moved to South Florida. But as far as weight, I mean, God knows. Been in this space for like 12, 13 years before digital marketing was even exists. So
interesting.
What is BPO?
No, business process outsourcing. It's what they were calling VAs before. VAs was kind of like the hype word.
Yeah, they say our back office. You know, they have a lot of them over here in the Philippines, but you know, that's what they normally call them. Then you got VA agencies, virtual assistants, or I just call virtual assistants. If you're a virtual assistant, you're a freelancer. really, because they're gonna have 3 or 4 clients at most, and then most of them, once they get past 3 or 4 clients, want to run up to starting their own agency.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so Max is actually responsible. I don't know if you guys know this, but my primary area. So I recruit VAs globally, evidently, right? But my like primary location where I hire and I have like probably the most trust built is Barbados, Belize, and Jamaica. And this is the man right here who introduced me to that community.
yeah, I was
And
always
that
wondering how
community-
how in the hell this white man got involved in Jamaica and Barbados and everywhere else. I was like, normally white people wind up hiring just not to be anything but Filipino or Indian. But I seen him, I was like, Barbados and like Jamaica? What the like where did he meet these people from? And so, and the ones I see him doing was like, I got the Philippines, their English is really good. And the ones I've seen him do, reviews of or the video testimonies where he's introduced them, I'm like, their English is actually on point, versus, because everybody else we just think of, Philippines or India. But I do have some friends in South Africa as well. Matter of fact, my number one content writer is in South Africa. So
South Africa is great. They're going through a power issue right now with Eskom.
yeah,
But they had like the ones that are used to working from home have the backup generators, so
backup
it's not an
generators.
issue.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
it's we hit it we hit it off when it became a global market. Like we were all ready for like this whole remote thing, because like the whole idea was like you know it in the Philippines, like there's a freaking call center on every corner. So how do you compete with that? Well, you have to go global, and that's like where like kind of the idea was like, oh man, I gotta get global, man. So started utilizing Skype. Philippines, Colombia, freaking Argentina, Peru. And then me and Max, we knew each other, and he's like, man, you got to come here in Jamaica, man. You got to come here in Jamaica. And I said, Max, I'm really good at recruiting, man. But I got to build trust with the community.
I can imagine how this conversation went down. I'm just
yeah, because we were running a direct TV campaign for direct TV, and it was fun shit, man, fun shit. And it just spiraled.
How many employees or VAs do you run, Max?
Well, I mean, in Jamaica, I own the office. I mean, my office can hold 75 people.
Nice.
So,
and what's their skill set? If I was to ask you,
basically-
with their skill set, what's the main thing you people outsource to you?
Well, it's 3 things that we do right now. We offer, all inbound, and bound basically is, let's say that anyone who wants a setter, that setter have the ability to capture all the inbound call, also capture all outbound call. On top of that, they have the ability to the social outreach. So there's 3 values that they can actually do. Not just social media outreach, but it's including they can also do down and outbound, because remember, before organic marketing, that's what all those guys used to do. They used to do inbound and outbound call until that organic marketing was born 2 years ago. So they have the ability to do all 3. So all agents basically this really well. I mean, those guys, they're the type of guys that work for Amazon. They work for basically all the major companies over the phone.
Yeah, all the major companies.
Yeah, they have the ability to work on the phone and then also on the DM at the same time.
It's like most people don't realize everybody outsources.
So basically, something that they're really used to, on top of it, they are getting a new knowledge and new skills. They have the ability to do the DM as well, which is organic marketing, social outreach.
Nice. Awesome, Dan.
The issue I run into frequently in Jamaica when it comes to the DMing is sometimes when they're DMing, they'll mix like the patois. And you know, yeah, so it 'cause patois is like it's English, it's like a mixture of like English and a few different languages. But you know, so that's the only thing like I run into. But like as far as like the communication, like for like appointment setting and sales, I think it's a great place. My go-to spot for anything like customer service, client success management is the Philippines. I have like my chosen areas that I go to for different type of roles, just because some areas they just have more experience in that field. But there's great talent everywhere. Even Pakistan, India. People like put down Pakistan, India all the time. There's amazing talent in Pakistan, India. It's just that so many people don't know how to hire overseas, and they just had bad experiences.
Yeah, most people don't know how to hire.
Yeah,
Most
the
people
next
don't know
place
how
I
to
want to go
communicate.
is
They don't have stops.
Mexico. That's the next place I want to go.
Mexico, you gotta go in southern Mexico, because you start going to the northern, there's that economic zone. So you gotta hit up the southern area.
Let's see real quick. Give me 1 second.
Nigeria too. This guy, Nigeria has great talent. The coders,
Interesting.
developers in Nigeria is amazing.
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yes, they are. They are
Yeah,
very good.
there's a lot of
developers over there. They're sick.
Yeah, they
They're
got
really
the
good.
whole stereotype that Nigerians are scammers, and I guess that's why, because they're really good with computers.
well, I mean, when a king has served a country and you get an email from his son, you're knows. That's like the Nigerian prince, stereotype. But no, we recruited journalists for for a client who was doing like massive like SEO stuff for LinkedIn. I don't know exactly the whole system that he had. William, you might know more about that, but they want a journalist, and we were getting like some amazing journalists out of night. There's talent everywhere, man. You just gotta know how to vet it. Every country has a different vetting process.
Yeah, I'm going to Ghana later this year, so I got to figure out what the best talent over there is. I might set up my own call center or something.
Teach them how to do the short form video editing.
You should, man. Why not? Daniel is the guy to help you with that, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely see, man. I know a lot of the Ghanaians I've seen who do digital marketing, it's always website design. That's what I've always noticed. You user interface, and like website design. So maybe that's the best talent over there.
Maybe it's like mostly what they know, but but a lot. I use this comparison a lot. Eastern media and Western media. So like, I mean, funnels really well. So if you're going over there, just keep teaching if they're like doing old style kind of like websites, teach them the concept of funnels, teach them like a lot of people think like, the traditional websites, the brochure websites are still a thing. And they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a place for it. I think there's the whole there's always going to be this debate: traditional websites versus funnels, organic versus paid. There's a place for both. But yeah, I mean, things definitely evolve over time. Like Max was talking about, organic didn't exist at some point, and now organic exists, and so like things evolve over time. So Yeah. There's definitely.
And I'm pretty sure in 10 years from now, it's gonna be like another market that's gonna come up. So
yeah, AI is becoming popular. Who knows what that's gonna look like, man?
yeah, AI. I mean, AI is the next thing.
Well, this is just all really network marketing when you think about it. Like, look at network marketing freaking 10 years ago. This is what this is. This is what this is really now, right? We're in that, but at that time, no one really trusted network marketing.
Someone said also built strongest long-term relationships from Nigeria, and nothing like them needing to take a break to go get more gasoline to run their generator to run to their laptop because of power outages. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, you're hiring remote, dude. You're gonna have power outages. You're gonna have internet issues. You're gonna have these things. It's just the sacrifice, but you're not paying 15, 20 an hour like
Exactly.
you're paying in the States, so you're gonna have to sacrifice some things once in a while.
Yeah.
But you're definitely gonna find really good talent globally, all over the world.
Yeah, they also said their favorite VAs they've worked with are from Nigeria because of their kindness, English, work ethic, and closer time to USA.
Correct.
William, why do you like you're like heavy into hiring in the Philippines? What's your favorite part of Philippine VAs?
Was whenever I first came over here, you gotta imagine I've been to Guatemala, Honduras. It's about the only places I've been to. My friend's Haitian. I'm not really a patriotic person per se, in the sense that I think America's the greatest and all that crap. I don't think it is the greatest. Matter of fact, I think there's many other countries that are much greater than it. I think, for instance, that you have an illusion of freedom over there, but you really don't. You do not have freedom as you think you do. But Philippines, when I came here, I remember going through New York and everything, flew over here. I remember tripping on some carpet or something, and I had about 4 or 5 people asking me if I was okay. And then when I got to the airport, people wanting to help you. Then when I literally came over here, didn't tell my bank prior to coming over here, hey, I'm going to be traveling. And then they froze my account.
Wow.
And so I had no money. And my mom's asked me, what are you going to do? I said, well, you're a Christian, Mom. So what should I do? I said, I'm going to trust in my Lord. And then I went out and I'm sitting there. I have no money to even get nowhere but like 500 pesos or something like that. And trying to figure out what to do. I just need Wi-Fi internet so I can talk to my friend Larry and have Larry, send him money via PayPal and him wire me money. And then I walk outside and this guy goes, you need a ride? I say, yeah, I need a ride, but I have no money. And he's like, where are you from? And I told him America. He's like, oh, you got money, bro. And I was like, trust me, I ain't got no money. They froze all my shit. And he said, well, I'm going to take you to my place. He took me to his shop. It's like a little champ. Had a couch there. I'm dead tired, 30-something hour trip because I went through Dubai and everywhere else. And he allowed me to sleep there. And then I'm waiting on my friend Larry to wake up. And when he woke up, I was going to wire him money. Prior to that, he goes, hey, when do you think your friends are going to be able to help you out? I don't know, sir. And he took me, he put me in a hotel. He paid for the hotel.
Wow.
He checked up on me daily until I had everything settled. Then once I had it settled, I was able to fly to, I'd already bought my plane ticket to fly to Pagadian where my other house is at. But he checked up on me daily. Now, if that same situation had happened in the States, you're fucked.
Yeah, you'd be out of luck. Or someone would kidnap you or something.
No one cares. No one cares about people over in the
They
States.
don't care. You can't trust people.
I mean, you could tell me, like, for instance, even though it's not all people, but it's like the churches. Well, the church should help the homeless. Well, the church doesn't want to help the homeless unless you go to their fucking church.
Yeah.
Or I can't pay my electric bill. I'm like, do you go to church here? No. Well, why should we help you? Well, because you're supposed to be following Jesus, right? I mean, come on, and stuff like that. But that's been my experience. Have I had bad experiences since being here for almost 5 years? Yes, I've had bad experiences, but nowhere near like in the States. Then when I flew back to the States and went through, New York, I was like, this is why I literally told the TSA agents that this is why people don't like y'all's asses. This is why people don't like Americans, because y'all some rude ass people.
Yeah.
Because they give some, not all, but for the majority, they give them a bad rap. And if you look at most nurses in the States, who are they? Filipinos. A lot of them are Filipinos. And they just have a very good yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, very Southern hospitality type thing, old school, stand up when your elders come in, So I love them, and their work ethic is good. They want to learn. You get the right VAs, they want to learn, they want someone to teach them, So, and then on top of it, like when I have over 150 something employees, over 70 something VAs per se that work in the office, it's over 100 something. Imagine the average, I'll look it up, but the average Filipino family, I'll tell you this Filipino family has how many people, Just go to Google and tell you, so I can't make shit up. Average household, Filipino size is 4 people. So you think I got 120 people, I'm feeding close to 500 people.
Oh, wow.
So for me, I go, when someone attacks quote unquote Rank Fortress or me, I take offense to it, not because it's me, but because it's like, do you realize how many people's lives that through what I do is affecting? And you want to come after me? I'm like, I'm running an actual business and we're actually affecting people's lives. It's like in SEO. Am I a black hat? Yes. Do I know how to take someone's GMB down? Yes. But as I've said in GMB Pros before, I say, so think of it this way. Should I take this business's GMB down? How many employees do they have? How many kids do they have? Do they got wives? Okay, so let's say they got 50 employees or whatever all together. So you're telling me because you want to outrank them on GMB, it's worth putting all these fucking people in poverty? You're a selfish son of a bitch. I don't want to deal with that type of thing. So I won't do it. It's the same way for me. It's like with this, when someone comes after me, it's like we're feeding and changing lives of 400 to 500 people. So it's not just, hey, I remember thinking before whenever I worked for Renee at EMED, and he was like, he had 100 something people and he didn't want to fire people even if he needed to, because he's like, they have kids and they got wives and husbands, and you think about everybody else. So for me, it's not just, it's like, I want to help my wife on top of, like, you married your wife that was your VA. My wife, when I met her, was an overseas Filipino worker. So my wife, when she had her daughter, went to Manila, worked in Manila, then went and worked over in Kuwait, then worked in Saudi. And for me, I go, why is it that y'all leave your country, your homeland, your kids to go work for someone that is going to treat you, not if, they are going to treat you like shit. They are going to treat you like a slave because you are their slave. When my wife went to Kuwait or Saudi, the first thing they do when you come to them is take your passport and lock it up. Why? So you can never run away. You are their slave. And she would work from, let's say 12, 5, 6 a.m. right before Fajr, all the way up till about 12 o'clock at night. During Ramadan, she'd work, you're talking about huge carpets, taking them out, beating them, getting them dirty and stuff. So for me, I was like, y'all shouldn't have to leave your family. Her mother basically raised our daughter. So That was my why. It's like, why the Philippines? Well, hey, I never even knew they were the #1 VA capital world. I didn't know none of that shit. I didn't know nothing about that. I just knew my wife was an OFW. I didn't think she should have to be an OFW. I think she should have the choice to be with her kids and her family and not make that. It's like when people in first world countries tell me about their suffering, I'm like, y'all, you have no clue, bro. None. Zero. Zilch. If you're starving in the States, at least you got food stamps and WIC. I mean, and most people on fucking food stamps. I've been on food stamps and WIC. You can get fucking. We were getting $700-800 a month. $700-800 a month on food stamps, bro. Over here, you ain't gonna have that. You gonna have yeah. You go over in the States.
Yeah.
I mean, you're covered. Here, you're gonna be starving.
People don't understand this. Guys like Will, guys like me, we don't have any other choice but to have successful businesses because we can't get a job. People ain't hiring us, and if they do hire us, well, you know, that's not. People aren't hiring us, dude. They're looking at us as, you know, competition, or we're coming in, we're gonna steal their business. That's how they're looking at us over here, outside of the U.S. So guys like me and William, it's really hard for us to get jobs overseas, you know, where we're at. So we really have no choice but to be successful business owners. Like,
yeah, and that's what I used to
don't
look
have
at my old boss, and I was like, you know, the fact is, I mean, now I understand, and now I have more respect for everything. It's like, you know, reality is he used to keep people that he probably should have let go, but in his mind and in his heart was like, I can't do that to their kids. You know, what gets me more is like, so for example, I video recorded this, like I was telling Desmond, I video record everything. I took my wife and me took, we have 5 team members out. We took them to the shoe store and said, pick whatever you want. And then when they got back, you know, I drove them to the pickup place, which is 2.5 hours away. I drove them, not someone else. I didn't have to do that, but I care about my VAs to go. I want them to be safe. Then I put them in a hotel room because I didn't want them sitting at the bus station waiting. And then when they got back, they're like, they're telling us, says, I feel like, sir, we're his special VAs and stuff. I'm like, for me, and then even in the thing, I was telling them, I said, because we gave them gifts and stuff. And I told them, I said, I remember when Coco, he was one of my VAs. He's on the web team. I said, I remember when Coco or Sherham started working for me, what he used to do, his friends, which are my Shake students, 2 of them were there learning for me. And he would come over just so he could cook for them. And he knew I like certain spicy food because I like, believe it or not, Ethiopian, Mediterranean hot, like really hot and spicy food. And I love Haitian food, Jamaican food, all that stuff, bro. Like South Florida, y'all got some on fire food. But Coco would come over, like goat roti.
You been to South Florida, William?
Goat roti. Oh yeah. Goat roti, lamb roti, all that stuff.
You gotta go to Miami Gardens. You gotta go to Miami Gardens.
Like in South, your bread and jar bread in Ethiopia. That's the type of stuff I like. I'm not your normal white guy. So, but nevertheless, you know, that Coco came over. He used to cook for us or for the boys. And reality was he just wanted an opportunity to work with me. And 2 years later, he's still with me. So for me, and then when I see the way a lot of people act towards VAs, this is why I have a very low tolerance when I've literally had, well, if your VA tells the truth, you're fired. I don't even want you in if you don't trust me, you don't trust my VA. They're like, well, how can you trust them? Because nigga, I'm with them every day and I see what they're doing. That's how I trust them. So, and if you even have that remote hinkling of a doubt that you're going to treat my people a certain way, out. I've dealt with too much stuff. So that's kind of why I love the Philippines. I'm going to be talking about that at the conference too. Why the Philippines and everything. Cause my whole thing is I want to put a spotlight on, cause a lot of people go and specifically, they'll teach Filipinos, oh, go work abroad. You're going to get $500 a month. They're going to give you insurance. They're going to do this and then do that. Well, go watch the news. They just shipped an OFW's body back from working over, and I believe it's Saudi or someplace over here, dead. Okay. They've had you go over and work in a lot of these places. Besides them taking your passport, they will beat you. They will rape you. They've put in bodies in freezers before. It's not always good. It's not always glitz and glamour. And all they want to do is sell it like, oh, it's just this wonderful world and wonderful life. If you get a good boss, and not all the time. And then I would say majority of the time, it's not that way. Because they think they can get away with anything because you're in a contract, a 2 or 3 year contract, and you can't leave. I remember when I literally paid the woman to allow my wife to leave the first time. I sent like close to $3,000 just to end the contract, to invest. I said, oh, she won't let him go. Well, what's the contract? How much did you invest? She's like 2,000, 3,000. She told my wife, he'll never do it. He's lying to you. And then I did it. And she's like, oh shit, it's for real. Then they still didn't want to let her go. Then I told her, I said, because I was a Muslim and she's a Muslim. I said, listen, sister, you're a Muslim. I'm a Muslim. This is not the way we act. Stop acting that way and send me my wife. And then she sent her home. So I've been through a little bit of that stuff too. So, but that's the main reason. A lot of people, it's like and then you get agency owners. This is the other reason. You get a lot of people that act like they're the greatest SEO in the world. And the reality is most of them don't even practice SEO. You outsource it. Let's be truthful. Okay. You're good at running an agency. I'll give you that. But as far as doing the work, please. It's like me. I can make short form content. Can I do the Hormozy captions and all that shit? No, nor do I want to do it. My guy does it. My people do that stuff. And for me, it's like put a spotlight on it and show you who the real successful people are. So you people actually start paying your VAs what they're worth, not, getting away with slave labor. And stuff like that.
So that's a very controversial topic. I think you and I agree that the fair rate for a virtual assistant is what the market rate is for the position where you're hiring them locally. A lot of people will be like, no, you should pay them what you should pay them in America. And I tell people like that.
It's never going to get to that point. To me, your goal should be to pay them more, right? Should be.
Yeah, above
it's
average.
Not to pay them the cheapest, but the thing is, eventually the rate or cost of living will go up in the Philippines. Eventually, but you're talking decades from now because they're behind on a lot of things, but they're actually working on making the more, the system, financial system, everything going online. Marcos is talking about that. So they're doing a lot of that. And to me, eventually it will start raising up more and more, but it seems like a lot of people goes, I want a VA because I could pay them $2 an hour. And to me, it's a shame in a lot of senses because it's like you're out there going, I'm so successful. I'm making this amount of money and doing this and that. And you're treating your people like shit. It's like we help our people,
VAs hate that shit. Like, I see so many people like they're with their lifestyle posts and their VAs. I mean, like, it's just logic, dude. You're fucking driving a Lambo. You're going on these masterminds. You're going on these boat rides, and your VA is getting paid $400, $500 a month. What you think they're gonna think? Oh, this guy's making money off us. This guy's making money off us. That's why when you build a sales team, You gotta give them unlimited cap bonuses. You gotta gamify the floor. You gotta give every single person an opportunity to make money. There's nothing wrong with somebody making more than you in your company. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think like people are their ego doesn't allow them to allow their team members to make more than them. I can't have my salespeople making more.
One of my project managers in the past was making close to $2,000 a month. So I know it can be done. It's just a matter of, how are they doing it? Build it up over time. Provide value to your boss, or provide value to the person you're working for. Then give it to them. I mean, I've talked about that before. It's like if you're charging $1,000 for a website and you're paying your VA $200, something's wrong, bro, with that picture. Pay them at least more than average for me. But so that's about it. But listen, guys, I need to get off here. We've been on here for 2.5 hours, but I'll have definitely me and Desmond, and then Desmond, we'll contact you in the future. But basically, with the conference and everything, I'm going to be wanting to do some podcasts with you, with Daniel and his wife, and then before the trip and stuff, so we can keep pushing it out some more. And then as we get closer, then I'll ask y'all for when's your plane ticket, when you're arriving and all that, so I can have things arranged. So,
man, I'm so scared for that plane ride.
So he told me, I said, don't chicken out, bro.
I'm taking a boat.
You're taking a boat.
I'm taking a boat. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Taking a boat.
You're taking a boat.
How many hour flights is it?
I'm not taking a boat.
It's 24-hour flight or 36-hour flight?
For me, it's 24.
Yeah,
24.
Mine, when I came from Jacksonville, Florida, it was about 30-something hours because I had an 8-hour layover in Dubai. Yeah. When I went to London to speak from the Philippines, which you think is close, it still took me 30-something hours because I had an 8-hour layover. Good thing is, if you go through Dubai there, Desmond, go upstairs and get their hotel room. It's a couple $100, but that damn thing, you'll be sleeping like a baby for 8 hours, versus sleeping in their hard ass chairs. So, but in Dubai, they have a mall. The mall's 3 stories high. I mean, it's amazing. So,
oh, nice!
It's just about the same flight time as
27-hour flight. Hours. That's nice.
Dan, are you actually taking a boat?
No, I'm 27-hour flight. I'm looking at the flight.
Okay.
27-hour flight.
I was like, I didn't even know you could do that.
I'm just like.
So then you should
27-hour.
You should be close to Philippines because you're in Europe, so you should be close, right?
Yeah, but it's telling me Google Flights telling me it's a 27-hour flight. Maybe there's certain airspaces we can't fly over.
It depends on the airspace and where he can fly through or how he has to get here. Because if he doesn't have a direct flight, generally, if it's not a direct flight, you have to go through the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through Turkey, and then from Turkey, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, and we gotta remember there's a war going on over here in Europe, so our airspace is kind of limited.
Limited.
Yeah. Limited.
Yeah.
Very, very limited.
So William, you own a company in Philippines,
right? Technically speaking, I'm a consultant for the company. My wife owns it.
I got you. Here we go.
Is it safe? Now, since there's so many VA sharks over there, is it safe to swim in the Philippines?
So
the name of the company is VA Sharks.
Yeah, outsource sharks, and we have about 80 VAs in there. And then at Rank Fortress, I have about 50 employees. Rank Fortress, we just do white label SEO, web design, and then outsource sharks. We do everything, but we don't do call center or lead generation right now.
So you actually have a facility.
I have 2 buildings. I built one onto my house in the Pagadi Inn, and then we moved them out of that into an actual office. And then the one over here is an actual. We own the second floor of the building. So,
I got you. Something similar like in Jamaica. I got the second floor for myself, so I think it cost me a hell of money.
Yeah.
Shit, I just
The
saw
question
something.
then?
You've been in the Philippines you've been in the Philippines so long, William, man. They, if you go abroad, they might take your passport. If you
No, I went. I was actually scared. Believe it or not, I was scared, and I didn't. This is number one reason I did not fly. I hadn't flown since we got here outside, and I went. I paid my exit, whatever. It's like $40. Paid that, and I was scared that once I got out, they wouldn't let me back in because they could change the rules like that over here. And they didn't, but I got back and I was fine. Now, once I was over in London eating and stuff, I actually got sick eating the food everywhere else. And then once I got back in Asia, I was like, I just wanted some soup, some broth, something. And then I got that. I was like, thank God I could actually hold food down. And you'd think it's like I want American first world food. I did not have any desire for none of that. So, but it was interesting. I mean, I was out there and I was just like, seeing the way people act and stuff. It's like London was pretty cool, but I was there for a little bit. It's funny. It's like Des was someone he don't drink. Craig and them drink. They wanted me to come sit down with them and have some beers and drink. I'm like, dude, I don't drink. I don't do none of that. So,
you ever been out in the Balkans, like Serbia,
No.
Kosovo?
Nope.
Okay.
I've only been to Guatemala, Honduras, the States is where I lived. I've lived all over in the States. I mean, spent probably 10 years of my life in Baltimore, Washington area. I lived a couple of years in West Virginia, majority of my life in Florida. So a little bit of everywhere, but I've also lived in California, Colorado. So my father, if you can't pick it up, my blood father was in the Navy.
Were you a Navy brat?
No, he got removed from my life when I was about 4 years old. So,
oh yeah, it sucks, man.
Yeah, he was into some bad shit. And my actual father, who I call my dad, I've known him since I was like 4. So, I was adopted. So, but yeah. So I need to get off here.
William,
otherwise, I'll be out here all day.
I do see. I see a lot of my colleagues just pack their stuff, move abroad. They move to the some of them move to Philippines. One of them moved to what's this place? Thailand.
We're called passport bros.
It's all market. Yeah. It's all marketing.
Yeah, there's a lot of Nigerians and Africans in the Philippines. Like I've went to certain areas and it's nothing but Nigerians and Africans. And it's like, and because they have this thing over here, and it's nothing but a lie that Filipinos like white men. That's a damn straight lie, because they like white men, black men. They like men that treat them good. And generally speaking, that I've seen, it's generally white or black men, but you have a lot of them in certain areas from Nigeria and South Africa and stuff like that. And, coming over here to the Philippines versus the Philippines outsources to everywhere, but when they're outsourced, they take their passport. You can't fly until your contract's over. And then after that, if they want to retain you, they still retain you and you never get your passport. So
I knew the Philippines was hard workers when I seen their president throwing people out of an airplane. Before you got to be a hard worker. If you're a freaking president throwing drug dealers out of an airplane, you definitely got some work ethic. So
I was in New Jersey, yeah.
You remember that? He was, the drug dude. He was throwing, he didn't want no drugs. He was just taking them, throwing them out of there.
Yeah,
helicopter.
He wasn't playing. A lot of people will talk stuff, and not to get off subject, but a lot of people will talk, and I like the way he talks. He's a lot like Trump in some ways. He's not a politician. He's a humble person, and you'd see him eating at restaurants on the street. He's just a regular guy. And one of the things people will talk about him, it's like, y'all want to talk about me? Y'all want to talk about the president that runs the Philippines? Talk about your own shit. What just happened to Tyree Nicholas. Y'all want to talk about something? Talk about that. You know, what happened in the States with 5 black officers on 1 black man and what they did with that. And y'all want to talk about abuse in other countries? Please get y'all shit together.
Yeah, I just heard about
people. Yeah, people. I watched the video and I posted something about it on my wall and got a bunch of people commenting. I'm like, well, he looked like he was on drugs, or he looked like this, and I was just like, how can you even remotely?
That makes it
how can you even remotely think? I said the only thing he had to do in that situation was they pull you over, license and registration. You don't even hear license and registration. All you hear is get the fuck out the car, and they drag him out of the car and then start beating the shit out of him. I mean, that's the time I have people all the time. Why do you want to live in the Philippines? Go watch TV in the States, and you see why I want to live in the Philippines. I'll live anywhere else but the States.
You don't gotta worry about your kids getting shot up in schools. You don't gotta worry about there's just a lot of you don't gotta worry about like all the crazy.
It's not just one or two things. It's like you see a lot of racism, crazy shit. You got a lot of good things, but majority, 50% of it's crazy shit.
Yeah,
I don't see all that crazy shit over here. I don't.
I do miss.
It's
I
like
do,
I
How much
have
it goes
to.
for an apartment over there, William?
Oh, what?
An apartment. How much an apartment over there? Like a regular apartment.
I had a fully furnished. Oh, I'll give you one. So fully furnished condo, $500.
wow.
25,000 pesos, $500. That's it. So I have a condo in Manila. I have a 3-story house in Pagadian, a 2-story house in Pagadian, and a 2-story house where I'm at in Mabua on the beach. I bought all that within 2 years. So a 2-story house, let's say for the 3-story house, I'll have $100,000 into it. So, and it's custom built the way I want it. You know, the house,
and it's all paid, isn't it? On that.
Oh no, it's all paid.
Right?
All paid, bro. All paid.
Yeah.
So,
over there, they don't have like a mortgage system.
No, you have property tax once a year. It's a couple of thousand pesos. It's nothing crazy, but you know, it's not that expensive. You know, the one thing I've had people say, like, you have the 3-story house, and right next to you, right next to you could be a bamboo hut. We don't have subdivisions the way everybody thinks about. You could have a subdivision, but you're going to pay about $10,000 a square foot. You're going to pay a lot of money. And then you live where all the movie actors and everybody else lives. I have no desire to live amongst those people. I'd rather live amongst commoners and stuff. So, you know, there's certain things in a third world country you get used to. You get used to trash. You get used to people driving a certain way. You get used to people acting a certain way. But
wild dogs,
man. I'm Haitian, so.
Yeah, wild dogs everywhere. I know when I come into a Muslim area, because you don't see dogs, you see goats. You know, that's typical shit. Or you'll see just cats. I mean, stuff like that. But I get used to it. It's like motorbikes more than anything. Motorbikes, trucks. I don't like driving with the tuk-tuks or trikes, but I don't mind riding in them. My most annoying things is the banking system and the driving. That's it. But the rest of it's like, you know, to me, it's normal.
Yeah, living abroad's awesome, man. I'm not going back to the U.S. I'm here to stay.
You've been the board manager for what, 7-8 years?
2016. Yeah. 7 years.
7 years.
I'm just.
Have you been back though? Have you been back for what, 4 weeks? Have you ever went back? No.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
Not interested. I mean, I eventually came out here. I came out here originally. I came out here originally to, you know, go back and, you know, get that apartment in Brickell, that condo in Brickell, but I ended up getting married, having
I know the
kids,
story.
and
I know the story.
yeah,
I remember the story.
yeah, I keep having a kid every
7, 8
year,
years.
so
Yeah. yeah. I mean, if there's a place that I'm gonna leave the state, it's probably gonna be Jamaica or DR. So, but for right now, I'm gonna keep riding in Florida.
Yeah, I need to go back to Jamaica. I went to Jamaica. What was it? 2 years ago. I haven't been back since, but I need to go there. And then, yeah, I imagine I'll probably live on some island somewhere.
You probably went to the nice spot. You probably went to the resort and stuff like, you know.
No. I don't like to go to resorts. I don't like to go to resorts. I like to go where the people are, where the
activities.
Like yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so I got an Airbnb. But yeah, we got to see
Did you been to what, Kingston 5, Kingston 6?
It was we went to Montego. We went to Montego Bay.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go there every week, so it's like a city. So
every 6 weeks. Yeah, it's only 2 hours away.
Yeah. It's about an hour and a half.
Such great people, man. I'm telling you, like really good people, man.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I need to go back, man. It's only 2 hours. That's nothing. I need to go back. William has been trying to leave for 30 minutes.
Yeah, we've been holding him on.
It's all right. Y'all keep talking. Right. I'm fine. I'm just doing what I got to do real quick.
Probably later.
So right now, John, you have 120 employees right now? William.
Who?
You have 120 employees now?
We have about 80 at Outsource, and I got 50 at Rank Fortress.
Oh.
So got a bit.
I mean, that's massive. And then all of them, they all working in your building?
50 of them work in the one building, the other 80 work in the other building. So they're all in their own buildings.
Nice.
I live at Surrey on the beach. Yeah.
What's that?
That's the next dream for you, man, to have your own building like William.
Yeah.
Nah. I want everything remote. I'm everything remote. No office.
I got you.
None of that. I just want to run my VA umpire all remote.
All online. I got you.
Yeah.
It's less stress.
Did the office thing, man. I don't want to do it. Not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like today I'm staying out of the office, and then I got to go do some stuff and phone calls. That's about it, because otherwise you get drained going in the office all the time and stuff. So, but let's see. All right, next time we'll have you guys back and stuff. If you want to bring anybody else on next time, Daniel, just let us know, and we'll have Desmond or Max or whoever. So this will be our little get up. Yeah, and if I'm going to have Desmond or anybody, only thing is if I'm going to have Desmond or anybody else on, just let me know ahead of time. I just need profile pic, and then I'll make the YouTube cover and stuff for that specific group.
I'll make a group, man. I'm the only one out of you guys sacrificing 4:43 a.m.
It's 10:43 for me here. Yeah. So,
it's 4:40. It's 4:43 a.m.
Yeah, I got half of it. I'm 11:43. So, all right, guys. I'll see you
11:43 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, bro.
Yes, nice to meet y'all.
I have so many SEOs that hate me and say that I'm stealing their methods. They bitchin' and cry, labeling me SEO Black Hat. Was a nobody, now I'm at the top. Most wanted, most loved, bad business owners, and hated by most SEO opponents. You think you're an SEO god, but you're an SEO fraud. Guess I'm the SEO devil, shouting fuck the SEO guys. White hat SEO doesn't make sense, going with the goody goodies. Up in heaven dressed in white, I like black Tims, I like black hoodies. Fake SEOs up there probably have me on some real strict shit. No sleeping all day, no getting my dick licked. Hanging out with the goody two shoes, lounging in paradise, whole shit. Fuck that shit, I wanna use